I am Coach Rudy. Thank you for joining us at the Brotherhood, Manhood, Fatherhood Conversation Series presents The Conversation Before the Conversation, where we're changing the world one conversation at a time, just by giving you something to think about. That being said, our rules of engagements are really pretty simple. We just try not to talk over each other. Try to be respectful. We've never had a little issue with that in at least 3 years.
It was never with us.
Yeah, no. It wasn't. It was a room full of women who were not happy with the topic.
It was definitely women.
They were not happy with what they thought we were saying, which was amazing within itself.
Yeah, all the events we had, that is for I'm not gonna say.
Okay, so introductions, Will. We got JAESUNMUZIC, Jason Music. We got Devin. Well, I apologize. Jason is also referred to as Mr. Compassion.
Am I?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. He's Mr. Compassion.
My face will tell you I don't care about him.
Damn, boy.
Yeah.
They hate women.
Just in case you didn't know.
What are you so damn compassionate about that? I don't know.
No, then we have Devin Smith, Mr. Haircut Man, Mr. I Got 15 Jobs. The owner and proprietor of exclusive Cuss Barbershop, which brings you the conversation before the conversation, and also the creative producer of the Woodwall Show. Then immediately to my left, we have, go ahead, Jerry.
Young Sexton will start a show on Dave Ruff, a.k.a. Who Rather Brother's Stomach, a.k.a. Dark King Rewind.
Is that something anybody wants to do?
If you saw that last video he did, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. And they come into the end when I saw Genuine, I said, that might ruin my whole life.
People still want to see Genuine, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, he's doing that, bro. Hey, I love it, man. Right now, it's a great time because you can be whatever age. If you had some good music, you can go get money right now.
Money,
You can. So it was a time where the industry was trying to be like, if you're this age, there's no room for you.
Right.
But now it's like that's just not true.
Only for black people too, man.
Well, to that, it's always been like that, but that was in Europe. Like I remember an interview Shaka Khan did maybe like 20 years ago. And Shaka Khan was like, you know the guy that did Kung Fu Fighting? He's big in Europe.
Wow.
Big getting paid.
Yeah.
And this came out in the 70s? And she was talking about this in the 90s. He had been working 20 years in Europe.
Coolio was booked up until like 20 something.
Yeah.
Like, when you look at it, Flow Rider and like Ace Hood, like, you haven't heard any Ace Hood music. But you go to Dubai, he's sold out.
But where?
So we go to Dubai. They still got shows. They still got shows and everything that they go out there and do. So it's like, you see Flow Rider, I'm like, what you doing in this store, bro?
He was like, what you doing in the store?
Niggas out here.
Okay.
Oh, look at that. Okay, I'm looking like Miami.
Don't you know?
Looking like the most eligible bachelor in Orlando.
We should have had a camera on the door.
We're in the middle of conversation. I just got to do a walkthrough and that out.
If you want to come up, just get everybody shake your hands.
So we can see, so everybody can see what we're talking about.
Hey, Bubba, you probably could have saved money if you would have not got buttons on.
That's what we're talking about. He got the first button, that button though. That's how you got to do it.
And he only had one button.
So that breeze hit him. Hey, the fan right here, bro. Look at that. You should be at brunch downtown right now.
Bubba, your employees in the Cadillac?
My tie. There's way too many men in this room to wear that out. Brunch bubble, man. I love it.
So then we have For the first time at the table of men, he is an attorney. He is the other half of Bubba.
On the bench.
On the bench with Bubba and Pink. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Pink. Welcome.
Yeah.
So, and then we got DJ Dubai. Y'all, our brother, Mr. Anton Carter. You would normally hear him in the background, but today he's going to join us up front, and we're going to...
The founder
of Men of Integrity, Florida Bread. What else you got?
And I got a lot going on.
Right, he got 15 jobs too. he got
Started 3 companies. Yeah. All under one umbrella.
He got the 15 jobs. So our topic today is love and marriage.
Well, I don't know why I'm up here for. That was the working title. Married. Me? No. Chilling. Tired.
He didn't say just married. He said love.
I mean, I ain't in love neither. I'm in love myself. I love women though. We needed your compassionate side. Yeah. You know, but it's good. I guess I'm like a good contrast here. 'Cause I have no desire to get married. Maybe I can talk. Maybe I can talk. We ain't gonna talk about that.
You sound a little like Bubba. Okay, we're gonna start off right off the bat with the damn goddamn.
Oh my God.
Damn. Well, I almost said it too. Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson both got fired in the same week.
I see.
Did you see what Don Lemon did?
What do you do?
He was interviewing someone, and he got angry. He got in his feelings, I guess you would say. And the guy,
Don Lemon?
yeah, Don Lemon.
Never.
Yeah,
Let's ask for clarity on that. He was an Indian guy speaking on black people.
right. And Don had a problem with his perspective, and I want to say, I think it's fair to say that not only was he an Indian guy, Don said whatever your race is. You have to say that.
Dang.
Yeah. Whatever you are. So I was like, and he told the people that was in his ear, he said, y'all stop talking to me. I can't hold into a thought while I try to work this out. So he told them this shit. He basically told them, shut up, I got this.
Stand down.
Right. Right. And he got it. he got the axe. He didn't like the way Jim was painting the scenario in terms of black people having access to living a better life in this country. And he brought up the Second Amendment. I really couldn't, even though I watched the clip 2 or 3 times, I really couldn't get, and I probably should have looked for a longer clip. I really couldn't get the gist of what they were really trying to get at. But the guy was basically saying, and then Don said, how you want to talk to me about this? I'm a black man and black people. And then the guy was like, wait a minute, we have to talk about these things. He said, basically, because I'm not black, don't mean we can't talk about it. We have to have these, I get to talk about it too. And Don took it some kind of way. And then, what was kind of sweet for me, because I paid attention to the stuff that's happening in the background, Don's co-host, she was squirming in her seat the whole time. Mm-hmm. She was like, she's trying to keep it together. So, because of course, if they're talking to Don, they're talking to her too, right? And then when Don finished and the man finished saying what he was saying, she was trying to end the segment in a reasonable way. Don was like, come on, hey, let's go. He really didn't want that guy to make sure he really shunned him off. Now, what did Tucker Carlson? I'm not sure what he did, but
lifetime of being an asshole.
Yeah, he always got a high take, man. He always
he's been a piece of shit for 20 years.
He's been hitting on the boat for a while, and it just caught up to him. And then I think they used that also to kind of get Don Lemon off the show too.
They got rid of you, but I thought Don went first.
They had to pay Don Lemon still like $27 million or something.
Sometimes
sometimes take that check and go ahead about my day.
Sometimes you got to pay for your freedom.
And he's still litigating to see if there's more money on the table for him to walk away with.
Yeah.
I
found out on the court show.
I mean,
Because I didn't watch that guy. I never watched any of these guys. I don't see if they come across with some viral clip where they piss some people out.
They all the same people, man. They all the exact same people. One just gave
I
black.
saw Rick Ross offer them a job or something.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, I've seen that. But to come cook fried chicken at his restaurant.
Oh yeah.
Real talk.
So got a job.
Rick Ross.
Rick
Don't sweat it.
I got
But like
you. I got you.
But like you said, they got this mic in their ear, man. And it's like you can only be in the parameters of what they say you can be. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you a man, you might feel some type of way about something. You might say something that offends somebody. You might, it's not nothing you can come back and be like, okay, I understand, but in that realm, it's almost like you're a puppet, man. So is it even real?
a lot of that stemmed from previous
said almost.
conversation. So a lot of that stemmed from previous conversation that if you go and look at the clips of guys, Indian guy that's a politician, when you start and you go back and look at it, it's like, okay, so you're trying to push this perception on, but we actually know exactly what's going on. When you go in there and you go and apply for a loan, a bank loan or something like that, we get denied like this. How can he sit up there and say, oh, okay, well, I know that it happens like this? No.
He can say it.
2%.
I mean, he can
But
say
he's
it.
up there.
You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta
Living
agree.
stopped him on the situation of you're passing on the perception that, oh, all of us get it, and we don't.
Yeah, see, I get. So that's what we're facing now. It's like, well, if you say that there's so many people listening that are gonna, man, whatever, man. Whatever, man. I ain't perfect. I ain't gonna be perfect. Some I say could be wrong. Some I say could be right.
Yeah.
Quit trying to say I have no room for error because everyone is like they're just gonna do whatever is said now.
But
They're just gonna absorb whatever opinion is there. I've never looked online and say, oh, that's how that guy thinks. Yeah, that's how I'm thinking from now on. You know what I'm saying?
hey, but some people do.
I'm gonna think
But-
about that.
I'm gonna say, but we think
Here's the
differently.
problem. You have not talked to enough people that watch Fox.
Right. That's
Yeah, I don't watch Fox.
Because it's a good thing you don't. Because what you will see, it
sit in
is
my office.
literally a cancer of the brain. You will talk to somebody that you know in life before this, and they have certain array of opinions and beliefs and whatever. And then you'll talk to them when they've digested a lot of Fox News. And you will literally get people that you know telling you just talking points coming off of that. It's a real thing. Some people are too mentally weak, too flawed of character to see through that and make independent judgment. And like, it's crazy. Like, now we have laws and rules and stuff like that. You got to be 16 to drive. You got to be 21 to drink alcohol. You got these other things. I mean, like, you should have an intelligence test to be able to subject yourself to Fox. Because if you're too stupid, that shit's gonna eat you up.
I call it slides of Fox News, man. I don't trust it.
I mean, but
I think it's across the board. Though. It's not just Fox News.
I was gonna say it's
So like
all-
any program that you like decide to like partake in is gonna be that program. That's why
It's a program. That's what it
So
is.
all of
Exactly what it
them,
is.
all of them are intended to do this.
A broadcast.
Yeah.
That's
And
why.
if you tune in regularly, you will be programmed as a schedule.
Right.
And that's
For real,
why,
just
like,
according to the schedule
that's
they
why
give
on
you. Yeah, and you'll be on it.
on an individual level, it's important that you expose yourself to different opinions, different lines of thought, so that you can stay somewhat grounded and retain some level of independent thought.
But once you take those blinders off, in the sense of how we think, when we've taken those blinders off and start scraping that obscure glass, guess what happens? Now we're the weirdos, or you should think like this. No. I'm telling you exactly what I see and what you got going on, because you're being a parrot more so than telling me some information that's actually true.
But that's a good point. So since that's true, you got somebody in your ear controlling to make sure you only say this to get into the minds of these people.
But he's $27 million richer, so we ain't got
Yeah,
to
but
worry
I
about
mean,
it.
but Donlemon knows that he's hired to be the token black guy, not a
Yeah,
black
he's
guy.
a character on
He
that
knows
show.
that. He knows that. So like, when you try to like go against the grain and be like, "Look, I got it," they go like, "All right, we got it," then. Because you already know what game we playing.
Hey, they only suspended Whoopi, man, for 2 weeks, man.
Because Whoopi came back and be like, "You know what? Maybe I
Whoopi
shouldn't
ain't got
have
no
said
endorsements
this."
either.
Like that. But if you're not gonna play the game, then you're gonna
Yeah.
deal with the consequences.
And
If you in there acting like it's not a game,
Yeah, you know it's a game.
They like, man.
How long he lasted? He did pretty good, right?
I mean, 27 million, 20 years. I mean,
Yeah, he played the puppet a good time.
Yeah, I mean,
Jason Whitlock now started his own business.
He probably just reached a snapping point where it's just like, I'm fed up with this. I'm gonna take this guy on. And then when they got backstage, he probably refused to apologize or anything else. He said, "Fuck you."
He'll let have his back. Either way, they didn't have his back.
He definitely landed on his feet. 27 million. I'm landing.
He'll land on his feet. He gave black. He'll be all right.
Oh yeah,
He'll
he
hire him.
good. Yeah, he good.
He landed on all fours.
Wait a minute.
That was a good one.
Okay, our next damn, the substitute teacher gets into a fight with a student for confiscating the student's cell phone.
Oh man.
Did y'all see that?
yeah, I think.
Couple times.
You see all of it?
Yeah, I seen this before.
It was
Oh, on the
sad,
floor.
that song I
On the
said,
floor,
man.
son. Slow motion, huh?
On my Facebook, like 90% of people was taking the teacher's side.
Yeah.
And
I took the teacher's side.
I didn't agree with
I'll
that.
take the teacher
Yeah.
side.
Why you don't take the teacher side?
Because the teacher swung first.
That's not true.
Yes.
Wait.
Go back and watch. The girl was reaching for her phone. She was invading her personal space. She was invading her personal space, but she was only reaching for her phone, and the teacher hit her with like one of these. And then that's when she pulled back the worst. I don't know what that was. But yeah, the teacher she was like so frustrated. The girl was reaching for her phone, and she hit it with like a forearm like that, like it was a strike, bro. And then that's when the girl pulled back, and then we all know what happened from there. So I was just like, they both was wrong.
No,
I'm not just gonna take a teacher's side and say she's right for jumping on a kid because the kid invaded her personal space.
But it
I
ain't
do
about
understand.
size though. That's the thing about it. Like,
What's that?
for that, you say you take a teacher side. Like,
Oh, size. You say
it's
size.
not about size because since we old enough to remember when cell phones became affordable for us to have them, and since the beginning of that time, you weren't allowed to have them. You weren't allowed to have them in class. So, and for you to feel like you have the audacity to get caught doing something you know you're not supposed to do, and then challenge that when you know you were wrong.
You said that?
No, you. Well, if you.
That wasn't asking me.
That wasn't asking me.
That's not asking.
That was just a polite. Don't fuck with me.
Man, where I'm from now is ass whooping, bro.
You come from somewhere soft.
She was restraining her.
Yo,
Anybody
But she
say
was saying,
No. She got on the ground, and then you lost focus on what was really going on because we was all looking at something else.
Okay, I gotta go
That's
back.
what happened. Because I didn't see her swing one time.
All right, I gotta go back and watch that.
see the way you assess the situation, you was looking at something else. Yeah. He's just restraining your way.
So like what Black was saying is very true. Because I remember when we did have cell phones in school, because I used to go and I turned on one of y'all's cell phone when we had the church. I go to your classroom door and hit the chirp so it'll go off in the classroom. So now you done got in trouble. So I'm like, hitting, you know what I'm saying?
You was a dirty motherfucker.
Hey, bro, you know,
Church was fun. It was not
the
fun.
church life was fun, bro. But in reality, when you look at it, you know what I'm saying? Her jumping on the child, yeah, she kind of went in, but also you got to look at the past instances of like the other teachers got knocked out senseless. You know what I mean? So she like, well, I'm not gonna let this little girl, because what if she would have connected with that little whatever she threw?
She was just a high. That lady just lost her cool though. I mean, let's keep it real. She was like, she lost her cool. I ain't saying she didn't have a right to lose her cool, but she lost her cool fairly easily.
I'm gonna say this.
I think it's a time.
I've been a kid, man. I had a teacher that he didn't like people in his personal space. We knew that. So when he was behind his desk, one of us went to one side, one to the other side, he was boxed in. We know we was being an asshole. And it was brilliant, it was hilarious. But we know we being an asshole. And so we know whatever come with that.
That's where I come from.
But that was a little girl who was out of control emotionally.
Yeah, so she got her ass whooped.
Like, you gotta accept that.
That's what happens. If you out of control emotionally, somebody gonna put your ass down.
Yes, what are you supposed to do when somebody enters your space and they move aggressively in your space?
Oh no, I ain't knocking it because she did call for authorities. Nobody got there in time. But she threw the first strike though.
So, okay, give an example, right? If one of the little kids come to the program and they get upset, right? And he's like, oh, well, I'm going to do such and such. And he go to his bag. I'm going to body slam
I
him.
can't hold. I'm more like
Because you don't know what these kids have in their bags nowadays.
I can subdue you without
get
striking
grabbed
you.
and say, hey,
I can subdue you.
But
without
you
striking
but
But if I was in high school, it would be different because them kids bigger than me. I don't walk out of class. Bro, I'm not taking nobody phone anyway because no. These kids are different now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Anything you get out my classroom, I call somebody to come get you out of my class.
But that's the thing
before I
though.
come
She's
to the back.
a substitute, bro. Her get out of my class is very limited.
yeah.
Right.
But she was real adamant about holding on to that girl phone. If you a substitute,
You can't have every time.
So this is my take on it. She was trying to not make it be an escalated thing because if you in a class with substitute and she send you to the office, that means you suspended or you get an ISA. So she tried to just be like, yo, you're not supposed to do that. Let me just keep this phone. You gonna get it back at the end of the class because I don't work here.
You're going to get it right back.
And actually taking it home with her.
Right. That's my thing is like if I got caught with my cell phone in class. No, you would never hear about it. I want my mom to hear about it. So she'll just like have to your phone. I was like, I just left it at my boy's house, and I'm gonna get that at the end of the school year. Because I don't want no
Listen,
I felt like they both was
Yeah,
wrong.
you talking-
My take, I just feel like they both was wrong.
It's a teacher that still got my no kid. I remember.
But she was right about not wearing the drawers.
I think they say she had some moan where she just the posterior was just, you know what I'm saying, so plentiful, you know what I'm saying. That the drawers got lost.
got lost.
I seen no blows getting thrown. The video that somebody sent
I'm
me.
not seeing it with a couple of.
No blows.
All right.
You know, like you said, I mean, she answered the forearm block. Okay, that's a block.
That was not a block.
Yeah,
That
it
was
was.
a shiver.
No.
You never played basketball, my man. Hey, I don't know what's going on with you. I can't explain that. And then she takes her down to the ground and basically just controls her from the top.
Yeah, she just put that weight on her. She
Alright,
put that grown woman on her.
Yeah.
She put that grown woman on her, and we just seen what grown woman was going on too. That's why you missed them blows.
Well, she got fired, so somebody agreed with me.
I didn't. Well,
Yeah, she has to get fired.
I didn't see anything going on in
Yeah.
the backside because I was. And it's
In the backside.
No, I was watching what's going on with the child.
But you can even see the child up in that heavy lady. That lady was heavy.
Apparently she didn't have one in your underwear. That's not my business.
I think she did though.
That's she did. She had on one. So I heard.
I was taken back by it. I was like,
No, but in that situation, I understand that that's things that just gonna happen. I just felt like they both could have handled it better. But when things happen, things happen. Yeah.
And I think that's, for me, that was the thing. 'Cause I worked in education for a number of years. And I have had
he gave me
students, and I have had students threaten me, come at me, all of that. And what I do know about being in that world is you really have to be built for that. And often you really don't know if you are until you know if you are.
Yeah. Until it happens.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So, knowing that we got to give people space to be human,
Right.
Yeah.
right?
we learned that with the kids.
I've been in the class. Well,
That's fair.
I had a style for me. I would just open up my desk and put your phone in the desk. And they would, when I'm going to get it back, put your phone in the desk. Because I don't negotiate, right? You can put your phone in the desk. Or you can do something else. But I do guarantee you that something else don't look as good as you just put the phone in the desk. And most kids, they would talk a little bit of trash and all this stuff and get mad, but they'll throw it in there. Even if they throw it in there, they put it in there, I close the door back. And then we go on about our day. At the end of the class period, they can get it back. Now, if they continue to cut up the classroom, they say, you got to come see me after school. Right? But I learned to formulate my style so I can handle that. Mm-hmm. But I took a young man's cell phone. We were out on the PE field running around track, and I told him to give me his phone. He gave me his phone. And when he came to get it back from him, because they didn't do anything else in class, he came to get it back from him and said, see me at the end of school. He left and came back with 5 kids. But me and all the coaches out on the football field putting water in the water coolers, and Coach Shears, shout out to Coach Shears, walking to the school. Coach Hughes said, I'll get the big one, you take the other 3. Right? So, but once they realized that their numbers didn't mean anything, right? They went ahead and they went back to class. He came back at the end of the school day and he got his phone. But you don't know. I mean, you don't know these young people's situations. You don't know. But the same thing with the teacher. You don't know. The children think that we have a code of conduct. I mean, there is a code of conduct, and they're wanting you to follow the code of conduct, but you're human. You're human, and you know that if you were not in a classroom and somebody walked up in you and got in your space like that, you would be ready.
Right.
You would be ready.
If it's I don't know if it's a kid, it's tough. I'm gonna try to remove myself in front of them.
Jay, if a kid is your size.
But now I know they used to just kick me out of class back in the days because they didn't want any type of physical altercation, so they'd just be like, "Jason, get out of my classroom."
So if you think back, if you think back, right, the 20-year ago Jason today is going to think differently than what you are. Right
I would defend myself. I'm not gonna throw the first lick. I don't know. I don't want to be in that situation.
Exactly.
I'm not a teacher.
I'm
not a teacher.
But I'm just like right now,
teacher.
as a mentor, as you being a mentor right now, and we faced a situation with one of the little boys, and it's like he wasn't a little boy. He's bigger than most of us, and we're like, all right, so if he gets out of hand, how are we? I'm looking at it as okay, survival tactic. If he get out of hand,
he's upset,
down. And if he's upset with you, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, we're gonna have to take him down at some point because he can start, you know what I'm saying, hurting other kids as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So being that he's upset with Mr. Jason right now, okay, now I'm like, all right, this is a little different. Let's kind of intervene and let's kind of separate the situation because you're upset about something that has nothing to do with Mr. Jason.
Right.
But now I know in those moments that we would be level-headed.
We're different.
Oh, girl
though.
was not level-headed.
But
she
we're
was like, you
different.
in my face and I'm about to give you everything you
she
asked
was
for.
ready for all.
So I can be level-headed when temperatures go up, I actually become more calm as I've matured because I realize like what's necessary in this moment is this. So it's like an instinct thing. So I don't know where that would come from if she would have been more level-headed, but I mean,
but a lot was. Here's the thing. There was a lot we did not see.
Yeah.
Right. We don't know if that was like the Israelites. Right. And she had to go. Right. It looked like it, right, but it could have. So to say that it could have been that the young lady and the teacher were going through it for half an hour. Right. Yeah. And she said, "I'm tired of this. Give me the phone."
But I also wonder, like, what you were saying, you don't know you're built for something until you know.
Right.
And it's like, that literally could have been the first time that substitute got in that level of situation. And forget about what the school does, fire or not fire her. She could have internally reached a conclusion. I don't need this.
Right.
I'm not for this.
Right.
You know, and we don't know if she ended up getting fired from no personally. But that's one of those things for sure. You know.
But the girl got in trouble too. I mean, they both got reprimanded. They both got reprimanded.
But she was talking about wanting to meet people out in the yard after school. Like, that
teacher
chick's
could
that
say,
girl? Yeah, girl.
Not with that swing.
I said she don't know how to fight.
She was like, I can't believe y'all let this happen to me. But if you're in y'all, but anybody got a problem with what I see y'all in the yard.
Not swinging like that.
She has zero accountability. An actual ass whooping would have been a gift.
We have our residential substitute teacher in the house.
She don't beat kids up. I've seen it. Go ahead.
Did you have your drawers on?
I've worked at some pretty tough schools, and Kelly Services is not OCPS. Kelly Services is its own entity, and we're contracted with OCPS. So we have different rules from the teacher. We're not allowed to touch anything that belongs to the student. So for me, it looked like she did way entirely too much. It's not that serious, and it should have never even escalated to that situation. If I see a child with their phone out, and it happens all the time, that situation that happened and went viral, that's every period. I do middle school, so that's 6-7 periods a day. That happens every single period where you have to tell a child, you know the rules, put your phone away. I tell them the first time, I come back around and the phone is out. I'm on the phone.
But see,
I'm not tussling with no child about an object.
If you can't fight, say that.
No, that's right.
no, but
That's right.
okay,
though,
but
man.
you're in Florida, and you were Kelly Services. She was in a different state. We don't know what
It was Kelly.
It was Kelly.
It was
So
Kelly.
okay, so but the school policy is take the phone.
Kelly out here serving.
At that particular
Yes,
school,
at that school.
because the teachers here can take the phone too, but not the subs.
Okay, well, but they said they could take the phone. So she had according to what I heard reported on the news. Let me put it that way. She could take the phone. So she took the phone, and the girl did what she did, and then everybody did what they did, and it was what it was.
I mean, all jokes aside though, and of course, you don't want to hit a child. You don't want to fight a child. You don't want a child fighting you. The underlying thing is, if you are in a place of authority, if you're in a place of authority and you teaching children and these children have no sense of authority, they have no sense of respect.
You gotta be built. I worked at Carver before.
No,
I worked
never.
at Walker
I'm not even
before. I
talking.
worked at Packard.
I'm not even talking about right or wrong. I'm not even talking about right or wrong.
I'm just saying, it's a certain way.
Listen to what I'm
that
saying
you
though.
have to-
Listen to what I'm saying though. It's not even about the X's and O's of it. I'm saying we have to equip our children to be respectful.
I mean, come on,
How
bro. That's
far
like,
are you-
of course,
that's
bro, but
easy to
that's
be
not the
said,
So
but
so
it's not gonna
so
work.
if it's of course, then that's what we should be doing.
People grow up without parents, bro. People grow up with ignorant parents,
You're talking
bro.
about
That's like
community.
Ideal.
You
Yeah,
can
that's
say
not
that,
but it's not the reality.
but
Yeah,
that's
so
not
so
real.
it's not reality. That's the whole point.
I
Though.
agree, though.
That's the whole point.
The
The whole point is the ideal thing is for it to work ideally. But if you get in my face and swing at me, I'm gonna whip your ass, and it ain't got to do with no ideally. So if you say, "Oh, I work for Kelly," hell ain't give a fuck about no Kelly. She's about to go get her swerve on. She can't know about no Kelly services. She's gonna get her $170 for that day and keep it moving.
Like, what's the difference between an impatient teacher that puts their hands on kids if the situation comes about? What's the difference between that and a trigger happy cop?
There's no difference. There's no
There is
difference.
no. So some people just shouldn't be teachers.
Some people shouldn't be
people
cops.
shouldn't be
That's the whole
cops.
point. She's not a
Some
teacher.
people shouldn't
She's
be
a substitute teacher. She's not a teacher. She going to get her $170 and she going home, bro. So like if I'm not
So
coming,
confiscating phones if you're a substitute teacher just here to get
Yo,
money
yo.
for the day.
Wow.
yo, I'm not in the army. I'm not going to war, bro. I'm a National Reserve. I'm gonna just go I'm gonna go do the exercises. That's all. That's all I'm doing.
I agree.
I'm not confiscating no phone. I'm gonna just get you out my classroom.
Period.
Because I'm not. These kids, a lot of them, it's not like that, man. They don't have respect, bro. They
just don't.
Even when I see kids in the streets and at the store and stuff like that, bro, I'm still standing clear. I'm not expecting any of these kids to have respect for me.
No, you right, but that's the whole thing though. If they moving like that with no respect, they're not gonna last long.
But yeah, I'm gonna stay out the way.
So and guess what? It ain't gonna be no teacher, bro. It ain't gonna be 22-year-old Shaniqua wearing pitch black. It's gonna be somebody who's gonna kill you. So if you operate like that and you being like, well, the teacher should have did this, a lot of shit shouldn't have happened, but you shouldn't be like that either.
Oh, 100%.
So if my kid go to school and he on bullshit, I'm gonna be mad at the teacher, and I might want to fight the teacher, but you still wrong.
Yeah. I mean, your kids are fortunate to have you in their life. You feel me? But there's a lot of kids that don't have that. They can't come home to a mom or a dad that's sensible. You know what I'm saying? There's probably no % chance that your child or my child would even behave that way in school. You know what I'm saying? Just simply because of their upbringing.
So that's why
I'm also a youth counselor, so I second that.
So that's
I'm not a youth counselor, I'm not a teacher, but if you run up on me, you're gonna get done up.
But this-
I went to the school of crime.
Just stay out of the school.
I didn't go to none of that.
Stay out of the school system.
I'm not a mentor.
You would make a great sub, bro. I would think you would confiscate a phone and you was a sub.
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't. I know you wouldn't.
But
You'd
that's
be
why
like, yeah, you
also-
can just leave or something.
Yeah, you gonna leave.
off of what Jason's saying, right? that's also why we try to teach effective communication amongst our boys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't sit there and yell at them. We not for the harp at you. We not what you get in your household ain't gonna be what's gonna be in our program. What you come in here, you want to do that hollering and screaming, bro. We not doing that, bro. We grown men in here, and we treat you as a young man. So therefore, we finna keep you at that level. So you might feel like this because this is how your mom is treating you. But when you come in here, bro, look, talk with some sense.
We've seen it. We've seen it,
and we had to address
of a mom telling the kid right after mentoring, we like, yeah, the kid was having a little bit of problems today. You gonna make me fuck you up. Keep making fuck you. You think it's a fucking joke. You gonna make me fuck you up.
That's how
it's like, man, this your mom, like, and she just talking like this in public in front of everybody to you, like, and they say why men don't respect women when they get older. That man, mama don't respect him.
Yeah.
And too, like, they don't realize that, like, people think that that's like being masculine. That's not being masculine. That's like people be like, well, I'm a single mother, so I gotta do it this way. When it's like that's not how that shit goes. But it's like because
I don't agree with that.
And the thing is we don't have to.
Yeah, we don't.
Because innately your child will, if you just be like sit down, or if you just be like hey, sit down, or like even like I don't know about everybody else, but men will be like the men that I know will be like. All right, you can do whatever you want, but there's consequences that come with that.
Yeah.
So they gonna know that and understand that because like one day I was telling my son something and I was just saying a bunch of stuff and then my girl was like, "Did you understand what you just said?" And I'm like, "Yo, what did I just say?" And he ran it down. It's because we talk that way. We talk the same way. So it's like it may make no sense to nobody, but it makes sense to us. But it's all these things that matter when you have these children. Because when they go into the world, my whole point is when they go into this world and you can't protect them, then whatever you equip them with, it's going to lead to that. It's either going to be positive or it's going to be negative. If you feel like you don't have to adhere to authority's going to make you adhere. And it may not even be by the book. It might not be Kelly approved, but in the moment, people don't give a fuck about that.
That was a life lesson for both parties as well.
I hope she learned it after the swelling goes down.
Okay.
It went viral, man. That sucks now. We in a time where you're going to go viral, man. Golly, I got to go viral. Crazy, bro. Sucks.
So, what it, someone has a comment about
What's the someone?
I'm sorry. Lincoln Allen Thomas.
Okay. What's up, Link?
Okay. Where are we on for that? You got to stay professional. How do y'all feel about that?
That's again, ideally you want to. I mean, that's why there are rules in place about whatever it is that you're doing. There's a standard that's in place that everybody is got the program, the condition to adhere to, right? But some days you show up late to work. Some days you don't feel like doing whatever it is you're supposed to do the way they say you're supposed to do it because you're human.
Okay, one more. Charles Carlson, the girl had no reason to come behind the teacher desk.
I don't think she came behind
on the side of that.
I thought it was a student desk, but if that happens, that is always the thing. I was real good about saying, don't get behind my desk, baby. Don't stand behind.
She came behind the desk. Like that's the thing. Like we can always be like, well, this is what the teacher's supposed to do. But in the heat of things, all bets are off. So like, and that's not to excuse away anybody's
right,
fault.
for real, because I you got a lot of parents that in the heat of things they traumatize their children every single day.
Right. But the thing is, this the thing though. If this teacher comes in, this girl comes to invade this teacher's space and is reaching all over her, and that teacher, and she takes a swing at her, and then that teacher beats her up, and then that girl's parents come and beat the teacher up. All these things are consequential things. All these things happen because this happened, and you did this, and you all gotta own it. And that parent gotta go to jail, or whatever the case may be. It keeps going on. So like, it can't be like, well, she should have known better. It's like we all should have known better, but because we didn't, now we here.
Well, I was at one of my daughter's football games, right? And the parent went to another parent and was like, don't you fucking talk to my daughter like that again. She was like, your daughter's rude. we all like, her daughter rude as shit. Like, we're all in agreement that her daughter is rude as shit, but she wants to come in and attack this lady. And so I'm sitting back looking at her, I'm like, boy, her ass can't even walk down the stairs breathing hard. That lady come down and jump on her. Hey, she got to get that whoop. You know what I mean? But this is what you're showing. You're displaying this, saying that you'll protect your child, knowing that your child is just as fucked up as you. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong as hell.
You see it all the time, right or wrong, right or wrong. I'm not caring about mine. No, if you wrong, I'm gonna be like, right, you wrong.
When you know that your child, when you know that your child is rude, because I've even gotten on my daughter before. My daughter's not rude, but sometimes she has where she has a little moment.
She's human.
Yeah, she's human. She has a moment. I say, hold on, wait a minute, start over. And we do that even with the program. I be like, start over. So therefore, you're going to address an adult problem.
Yeah, we talked about this exact episode on our show a couple weeks ago. And one of the takeaways I had is, if your reaction to watching that girl get taken down is you want to kick the teacher's ass, if you have kids, your kid probably deserves the ass whooping. Because that's your mentality. You're an ignorant, confrontational person, and your kid's probably that way because you made them that way. And it's like, just look at it. You know, if you can't own that your kid was in the wrong there, like, there's no hope for you. None at all.
If you know your children, I got 6. When I got calls, I was like, yeah, that's my kid. This is where we are with it. This is where we are with it. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to talk to my kid, but I'm going to talk to my kid alone. Right?
But that's a great point, because you can tell as a parent, if somebody calls you and tells you something about your kid and it's not consistent,
right,
you know there's something wrong.
Right.
Like you can say, I know that's I can see my kid doing that. But they tell you something else.
So I put it, hey baby, come on, let's go outside. Well, you can't take me outside. I can't take my kid outside.
No, that's right. They let you take a kid.
You take it outside. So I'll go outside, and that's how we go around the corner, tell daddy what happened. You don't leave nothing out.
Yeah.
Right. Give it all to
that's
me.
crucial too. You gotta already have an open dialogue so your kid will tell you the complete truth.
Right. So now when we
go back in here, I gotta talk.
Right. When we go back in, you sit down and be quiet. I got you.
That goes into knowing them, because if you're not already having that open dialogue, then somebody can call you and you could swear up and down your kid didn't do that. And if you're not already having that, and you're wrong, because a lot of parents are like that with their children. Like, my child didn't do that when, yes, they did, but are you talking to them? Are you communicating?
A lot of people right now are not taking time to learn who their children are.
Yeah.
They're spending too much time at brunch and doing all these other things
on social
gram
media
and all that.
Yeah.
I don't think they don't know.
Problem.
I don't think they don't know. I think they know. And when they're defending the child, they're really defending themselves. I think to me it feels more like that. In most, right? True.
Because I've looked at the instances of this child acts great with me, right? 2 minutes after I'm not in the picture, and he's with his mom. After he's left mentoring, he's been quiet the whole time. He's the best child in the world. 2 minutes after he's left mentoring, he's walked outside. He is a wrecking ball.
Right.
And she'll sit right there, and then it'll come up about a week or so later. Oh, well, he had this happen. Ma'am, he do it right there in front of you. How don't you see?
Yeah.
But with us, I had to see it for myself that he was acting like that, because I was defending him. You know what I mean? So it was like, okay, I keep hearing these things about it. Oh, he's still. Are we really still? Let me see. Lo and behold, sit something right there. I say, hey, you can get some later. I already got something set aside for y'all. Guess what he doing? I turn like this. He's trying to slide it in his pocket.
That's what you didn't define later.
I say, you know what? Go ahead and give me 20 push-ups, bro. Stand on to the backside. You know what I mean?
One of the greatest compliments that I got as a parent was when I would meet people who had met my children. And they would say to me, oh my God, your son is this, and your daughter is this, they're so that. As a parent, that's the greatest compliment I thought I could receive, because you ain't got to worry about nobody saying, man, your kid, wow, your kid is this. And here's the thing, if somebody, in that scenario, this is just my opinion, if you're in that scenario and someone doesn't walk up to you and give you that compliment about your child, there's something going on. Your child is out there doing something different than what you probably teach them or what you expect them to do.
That's probably good.
You know?
I mean, but even because I was a good child, but I also
Did stuff.
did stuff. You know what I mean? And I'm the kind of person where I was the smallest one, but if we did it, it was my idea. You know what I mean? Like, so not only did we do stuff,
That was me.
not only did we do
That
stuff,
was me too.
we did it because I wanted to do it. It wasn't like somebody was peer pressuring me. No, it's like, nah, we can't even think. We can't even think that well the way you think that.
I got the call. We
Here's
can
up
go
Jerry,
there.
Mr. Mastermind. By the way, I love the hat. Okay, the next, God damn. 4 young people were shot within a 6-day period. Young lady, Peyton Washington, she was a cheerleader in Texas who, when she was getting in
The wrong car.
She got it.
they was doing a carpool situation, and she messed around and got in the wrong car. When she realized she was in the wrong car because there was a guy in the car, she got on and got into the correct car with her cheerleader. The guy got out and pulled and started firing.
All of them shot.
Followed and shot.
Yeah, that's shit.
Right?
He got in the wrong car.
She got in the wrong car.
This was like
He got in the right
outside
car
of the
and then got
school,
shot.
like
Yes,
after
yes.
practice.
It was the way I understand it is the cheerleaders would carpool. They would meet in the parking lot of this business, and they would get together in one vehicle and then drive off to go do whatever it was they were going to do.
Okay.
And she got into the wrong car. So then the guy got out and he followed her, and
What's his motivation?
Yeah, why?
Like, is he just waiting to kill some chickens?
Right? And then we all know about the Ralph Yarl, the 16-year-old boy who knocked on the man's door and the man shot him in the head, and then when he went down, shot him again, knocking on the wrong door. And then,
Ian came out and shot.
yeah. And this, what got me was when you guys talking on your show, it was a glass door.
That's what I said. He shot him through the glass door, came out, and shot him again.
His grandson came out and told him that, you know what I'm saying, his grandfather is a racist.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He said his
That's the
grandfather
only.
is a
That's
racist.
the
But you can
only-
tell by his actions.
Yeah.
I know what I'm saying. That's the only conclusion you can reach. It's just an old, angry, insufficient white racist guy, and
And he finally had his chance.
He got a gun.
Got
He see through the glass.
Got me one. Great grandfather, you'll be happy with me right now. I got me one. Yeah, boy.
Who was that? Dave Chappelle was like the,
Yeah.
like the John Wayne.
And then the third one was a young lady by the name of Kaylin Gillis, a 20-year-old woman who was shot and killed by a homeowner after the car she was in accidentally went to the wrong address. I walked out and shot him as they were trying to back out.
In the parking lot. Yeah, I remember that
No,
one too.
in his driveway.
Yeah,
He
right,
backed
yeah.
out in his driveway.
Backing out.
And then turned around and left, right? And he came out and started busting. Now, what don't make sense being a gun owner is that I don't think about that. Being the first thing, I'm thinking Uber Eats probably done pulled into the wrong spot and dropped somebody's food off. But
Even
for
if
you
it's an
to-
Uber driver lost.
Whoever it was,
They
they
turned around.
didn't do nothing. They didn't get out of the car and go home.
You don't want visitors that bad?
yeah. No, I mean, like seriously,
What the-
how
what you got going
like
on?
triggered up are you inside your house that that's a
Crazy.
provocation to start shooting?
So
And you
when we
was
were
like
young-
watching the
That's what
camera.
I would have been.
And we used to do what?
For real, like it probably hit your phone or whatever you got. And you
Yeah.
probably were like,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Like, hey, buddy, try it.
oh, you gonna die today.
So we used to always do what was
I wasn't there.
we used to do nigga knocking. Remember that? So when you was young, you go
Nobody
knock on
was
somebody
going
door
to
and
shoot.
Yeah.
I'm at the trap. What you
Yeah.
do like
Oh,
that?
like why you gonna just go out
Yeah,
there?
I was gonna say my dad said he is no longer going to turn around at someone's yard. He said, that's it. I won't be doing that anymore.
Yeah, it's bad that you can't. I mean, like I said, growing up in our time and growing up in their time is totally different. We used to go and we'll knock on somebody's door and run.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We call it nigga knocking.
Nigga
No,
knocking.
not that nigga. You know what I'm saying? We call it nigga knocking. And then take off. You know what I'm saying? And laugh about it. Now these kids can't even play.
Nah,
Because
you
even
can't
in
play
my
like that.
neighborhood, right? Live in a good neighborhood. These kids are just walking around peeking in people's doors. My neighbor went to follow them home and went to the door and say, hey, your kid was peeping in. I think you should, talk to him about it. You know what the parents said? The parents said, Well, which one was it? It don't matter which one. Talk to them.
Man, so they
You know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing about parenting.
No, as a brother, it do matter because if it wasn't me, I wouldn't weak. It wasn't me.
Nah, he followed into the house, bro. We know, you know what I'm saying? But
So there's no N-words knocking at your house.
There was another incident. I don't know the end, what the end was, but some kids were playing. A little boy got into somebody's yard, and the person shot the little kid in the shoulder. So they got it on video, and they were running from the house. The kids were running, and the little boy who got shot was like, and somebody stopped and said,
I think it's basketball or something in the yard.
They
That's when
said,
they get the ball.
okay. And he was like, what's
Yeah,
wrong?
what's wrong?
He shot me. So I don't know what.
Yeah, you gotta worry about bullets.
Like, you
Nah,
talking
we
about
worry
living
about
kids?
dogs.
Yeah,
We worry about somebody's dog.
Right.
I ain't worry about bullets.
Right.
I'm still worried
Even
about
in
dogs.
that, you buy a house in the neighborhood, you think your kids are cool to play outside. You gotta worry about this.
Man,
You gotta know your neighbors.
if you that afraid of where you live,
Man,
man, if
you
somebody
move.
walk in your yard or that's
Your
crazy.
mental can't be right.
Yeah, like they didn't jiggle your door. They didn't
Say nothing.
It ain't
do
say nothing.
nothing.
They ain't.
Yeah, I think just some people correct about on Halloween, man. You know, they put a basket of candy outside in a chair. These kids, group of black kids, they ran up on the basket, you know, took the whole basket. This lady get online, oh, we should call the police. They stole my chair. The chair was right there next door neighbor house.
Right.
They just moved the chair.
Right.
Man, I went off on that bitch. Boy, my wife was like, don't say anything. I was like, fuck these people, man. I said, these are little kids. You put the candy out there. We used to go across the railroad tracks over into the Ridge neighborhood. They put out real Snicker balls. We loading up.
You didn't get the fun
We
side.
didn't get the fun side. We loading up. You leave it out there, and that's what they do. They go and replace it with whatever else they got.
Right.
You know, people moving into neighborhoods that aren't used to being around other races.
We never taking that bowl. We never
Yeah,
taking that
We
bowl.
gonna hit it up, boy. It's 5 months old now.
It's 5 months, we can
Whatever
do
in this
that.
bowl,
Talk
we
about
split it up
We
5
for
ways.
sure taking that bowl.
You gotta refill it when you come back out. We go.
Listen, you go to one house, you finish trick or treat.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
But we have pillowcases.
Yeah, to the real.
Real kids, man.
Talking about them people pulling
With
up
no
driveways
trick or
and
treat outfit
everything,
on or
people
nothing.
just
We
don't have.
got on our school
Who
clothes.
are
You
you?
ain't even saying that?
I'm me.
But it also goes back to the fact of what
What are you?
I'm just like, that's me.
you know what I'm saying? It goes back to what he was saying earlier. You know what I'm saying? We double back on Fox News. Fox News, all they talk about is this, guns. Be aware. You know what I'm saying? And at one point in time, even with me, when I came back and I started seeing a lot of stuff and it had nothing to do with Fox News, you know what I'm saying? Oh, trust thy neighbor and all this kind of stuff like that. I was kind of like looking at my neighbors kind of funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you know, you gotta worry about my neighbors.
That's the purpose of that.
But the
But
thing
I
that
wasn't
happens
looking at
when
news,
when you come back to Dubai, it's just a different world.
Yeah.
It is very different.
It's a different world.
Because I did not, I told Jason this before. We've talked about this. I said, bro, I left Iraq, left Afghanistan and everything. And when I moved to Dubai, I didn't hear a siren, I didn't hear anything. All I heard was prayer at 5 o'clock in the morning, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, then I came back home, and then I came back with my wife, who wasn't used to that either. So now I'm like on alert. Because it was one time my dad was like, hey, somebody's out there trying to pop the lock on the car. You know, he was just checking, you know, and I went to the wrong window. But, you know, if you know me from before, hey, I'm set up different. I'm going outside. Hey, what you doing, bro? You know what I'm saying? You know, we got to see about you.
I mean, there's a lot to unpack in this because, like, I remember going to Toronto and I was amazed for a big city. It was extremely clean, and I literally saw no police for the entire time I was there. And it's like we have such, like, with our stupid Second Amendment and our police presence and all this stuff, we have a pseudo-militarized state, and we're okay with it. And we are, and our politics largely preach fear.
Yeah.
And so we have these triggered up old people with weapons. And we get what we deserve. And a lot of people, innocent people, lose lives in this situation. But this system is built for these results. And it's despicable.
Exactly.
Very true.
Despicable.
This
And
is
they-
what
and
makes
they-
the Wild Wild West, though.
And they put it in your head, constantly, telling you to be aware of it, telling you to be aware of it. But it's like reverse psychology because in them trying to make it look like they care about your well-being, really, like you said, they just pumping you full of fear. And, to the point where, do you know your neighbors? You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, we come from a time where your neighbors come to your house when you move in.
Yeah.
How you doing? We so and so. Got the kids over here. I got the kids. Boom, 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 boom. Now it's like you don't know what they got going on. They don't know what you got going on. You. It's like
They don't even talk.
yeah.
I know everybody. 5 houses this way and that way on my block. We talk. We know each other.
How it should be. When I was in Eville, that's how it was.
Yeah, when me coming up, you didn't lock doors. Everybody had a screen door. And you just walked up and you just yelled in, "Hey, Miss So and So, he went over to so and so house, baby. Come on in." Right? Doors weren't even locked, but we do recognize that we are in a different era, right? And we do know that this stuff is structured. Everything, the society, fear is a motivator. It's a good motivator. It works for them. We all pretty much use fear as our personal advisor. We use it to make our decisions. It could be something simple as a storm's coming through. Right? I got to hear from every woman in my life, go buy this, go buy that, go buy that, go buy this. Because the news done told them they're supposed to be afraid and that you need to do all this stuff and spend all this money to get all this stuff to protect your house. They said, we done been through 15 hurricanes and all we done had is the lights go off and a lot of barbecue. Why am I trying to go toilet paper and plywood?
That's a category 9. That's the other thing too. Like you sit there and they'll say a storm's coming on Saturday.
Right.
It'll be Monday.
Right.
And there's gas lines at you. People going to gas.
Like, bro, who you gonna keep that gas all week, bro? You gotta drive to work.
Fill up again. Like this is ridiculous. So I dispute the notion that fear is a good or effective motivator. It's not. It's not a healthy motivator.
No, I'm not saying healthy, but it works for those. It works for
propaganda.
Yeah.
Propaganda is the main.
At the end of the day, there's a price to cost if all you have is fear.
Yeah.
And that's the world that we live in. And like I'm saying, the false news situation. Everybody has a narrative. Everyone has a narrative. Right now, we can't watch BET. Granted, what the nation that we're in right now, without saying two boys kissing. Like,
that ain't just shit.
Bro, I'm just saying in general, like you can't even get away from it.
Antoine.
I get it, bro.
It's people kissing that love each other. It has nothing to do with their man, sex, gender, none of that. They love each other.
I got you. But it's just a narrative that is being forced upon people. That, you know what I'm saying, brought back to the things of, okay, fear. I hear it in my job. I've heard it in my job before. Oh, demographics are changing.
And they are.
So I say, okay, well, what you mean by the demographics changing? Because I'm not invited to this conversation, but I've invited myself to it so I can know what you're talking about. And that's how I get a lot of the stories of, like, Fox News and stuff, because I sit back and I just listen. And I be listening to it, and I said, well, damn. That means if I'm outside of work and you see me walking down past Tangelo Park and you at the light, and I just happen to wave at you and you don't recognize me, you probably should be.
Well, Tangelo Park, probably.
I'm just saying.
You one of them, man.
Now look.
Black one of them. Hey, guys.
Now look, my thing with the thing you said about BT is this, right? So now we grew up listening to Terry Campbell and Luther Vandross sing to women, right?
Yes, we did.
Well, what do you infer?
And Marvin Gaye and
Teddy
Pendergrass and a lot of these guys
had a lot of kids
singing to women, and Carl Winslow and Uncle Phil.
But they kept it on
They
the
were
hustle
married
music.
to. But my thing is, right? Would would we have bought their music if they kept it honest about who they was attracted to? You know what I'm saying?
Who's attracted to who?
You talking like
Right. So
So Luther Vandross was gay? Are you trying to say?
But listen, people get attracted. So if time goes by,
Carl Winslow was gay? Is what you telling me?
What you mean by bi?
if time goes by, right? So look, if time goes by where certain groups of people,
Uncle Phil was gay, is what you telling me?
where certain groups of people feel like, coming out wasn't beneficial. You know what I mean?
Hold up, side note. Carl Winslow came to Uncle Court one time, man.
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
But
He was definitely gay.
You was able to see it then, huh?
I was fine when I got the head.
You was able to see it then.
but so now, if you would, also there was a time where Afrocentric was frowned upon, even by black people. You know what I'm saying? To the point where there was like this giant dashiki revolution going on. Most of them came from China, but we ain't gonna get into that. But when we in a place where the collective, once the collective or it's been deemed by the mainstream media that is now accepted or celebrated to just be who you are, you're gonna witness a boom. You're gonna witness a boom. You know what I'm saying? So when I see stuff like that, it's easy to feel like it's being forced, it's being pushed. But the truth is, it's been like that.
We already knew,
it's been like that, but there was no space for it because
It wasn't allowed.
because the quote unquote powers that be hadn't green lighted it, for whatever reason.
Wasn't forced.
So now that it's green lighted,
On force, bro. We work on force, bro.
This nation operates.
Everything on force, bro.
so now you get it, but now they making up for. You feel me? How we had Luke Cage and Black Lightning and Black Panther and these people making up for it. So now you can't.
But are they?
That's how I feel.
Because
They're still dipping into the pockets, bro.
but if I'm still in control of the
That's what
image,
it's all about.
is
Yeah,
it
they're
good?
still dipping into the pockets.
Super Day coming. Super Day.
What is going to sell? It's a possibility, bro. That is a good one, bro. That is a good one.
Oh my God, bro, that's great.
You need to go ahead and stamp that.
Super Day.
Super Day.
But now,
That was
of
a
course,
great comedy, bro.
Of course, but now it is being. I mean, when we go to look back at the cartoons and everything we've been watching, sexual innuendo and things of that nature has been slid in, but our minds wasn't aware of it.
Ren and Stimpy, bro. We were introduced to drug
Yeah,
addicts, bro.
it's
And
going
we were
wild.
living around them, bro. We living around drug addicts, bro, and everything. And Ren and Stimpy were those same people, bro.
They were drug addicts?
I don't know, bro.
Yeah, nah, it's
Go
a,
look at it, bro.
but yeah, it's to the point now where, it's like,
yeah, it's,
there's
no question in it.
Yeah, people warning you now on Facebook like, hey, you watching this series? It's coming. Fast forward it.
Let you know. Let you know it's backbreaking. Bro, you're like, oh God.
No, my boy said he went to see Brokeback Mountain with his wife.
No, he didn't go with his wife. He went with his friend.
His girlfriend.
That's what they say, man.
His special friend.
You don't accidentally go through that movie. Because when we came out, it was like, hey, they gay. Like,
they had wives though, right?
exactly.
Yeah,
I never watched
Like-
that.
like-
they had wives
like
and
most
they
gay
went
dudes, Jay.
and retreated. They went and like camped out for a little while. I never saw the movie, but I read the summary.
about it.
It was a big talk when it came out. It was like, and then they named it Brokeback. Like, bruh, come on,
That's
now.
a real mountain, though, Jake.
Huh?
It's a real mountain.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it.
I wouldn't hike it. Not your pal.
But now we're in that time, man, and it's like if I'm on that side of the game, I'm turned up. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody eating.
I'm not.
Literally.
I'm just Switzerland, man. So I understand both sides. I understand both sides, man.
I genuinely don't care unless it's gratuitous, bro. Like, it's like, what does this person have to be a gay?
Nah, it's going hard. Yeah.
That's just like,
Nothing, bro. It doesn't change if I like you or not, bro, as a person, bro. It changes nothing. If you're a shitty person, I don't care what you like. If you're a shitty person, I tell people all the time, I've met people with money out of yin yang, and they've been shitty people. But I've also met people that had nothing, and they were great spirits. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it doesn't matter what it is, but you gotta, that whole thing, you gotta float in the room and all that kind of weird shit.
No one wants to feel like something is being forced down there.
come on, man, who's floating in the room, man?
I don't want to say that, but
He said float in the room.
Yeah, it is weird.
no one wants to feel like something's being imposed.
Yeah, Yeah, like,
No pine.
yeah, like, really, bro? Nobody cares, bro.
Like this show is about a.
You're terrible, man. Bro, hey, we called it though, bro. We called what you.
All right.
Oh, man, we're terrible.
All right,
Man.
okay, so
That wasn't even on the list to talk about.
okay, let's jump into this. Love and marriage. Oh man, love and marriage. Ooh. First question: Can you be successful at one without the other?
Yeah. Wait. Marriage can be a business.
Yeah.
So marriage can be a business in the sense of you can find someone that you could be sexually attracted to her or to whatever pronoun you want to use, and say, you know what, we're going to make money together and we're going to build this empire, and it's just based off of business. But then you also have where love may come into it, and it may be just you have a love for what this person can provide or what this person's capabilities are.
So how does that?
Is that success?
There's no real definition of success though. When you really look at it, everybody's perception of success is different. I could be successful right now in my mind, and you could be like, well, you got some more work to do. You know what I mean?
But it's not up to the other person. But but then we talk about language, right? The word success actually has more to do with the pathway you clear for those who are coming behind you. Success, but like succession is more of what you understand. So in that sense, I guess a way of saying it is success. I'm successful. You can determine whether or not I was successful at whatever it is that I'm doing based upon those who follow my path and whether and how I kind of cleared the way, or if I didn't clear the way. Right? So
That's real.
right. What makes a woman a good woman?
Cabinet?
Are you in jail and she writes you letters?
Okay, so I ain't never been to jail, so I don't know. Wait. I like that you been saying you don't know anything about women if you haven't been to jail.
That's profound.
In the sense of jail,
I think a good woman. He's saying what makes a woman a good woman.
I'm just saying jail and deployed about the same thing.
I don't know. I think maybe that is dictated on like her ability to take what you give her and make it better.
Amen. That's real.
Or make you better.
So that's what makes what you give her important.
Right.
And that's anything you give her, like whether it be like knowledge or like materials or resources or bullshit, yeah. Or you give her like your seed or your life force. Like whatever you give her, she has to bring it back and make it better for you in your benefit. That's what makes a woman a good woman to you. So, but it is dictated on what you give her. If you feed her like nonsense, man, you're gonna have drama and nonsense in your life, and she'll make that better. It'll be the best drama you've ever seen.
You're gonna have a full-blown reality TV show in your house.
I think it's difficult to characterize anything as good or bad. And I think and one of the dynamics that's extremely difficult about relationships and long-term marriages and things of that nature is there's a fluidity to it. Like when you meet somebody at whatever age you meet them and you start your romance, you go 10, 15, 20 years down the road, there's changes going on both sides. Right. There's things that go on. And so, you can have periods of time when they're good to you, you're good to them, and whatever. And there's other periods where it's just like, get this toxic bitch away. Like, it's tough to just say, that's a good woman, and have any durational meaning.
We talked about that as a career path. I think I brought it up at one point when we were talking. I look at it as a career. It's another career that I've taken on. What I put into this career is what I'm going to get out of it. But if I know for a fact that this was a shitty job in the beginning, guess what? I'm going to get.
But see,
It's going to be shitty.
okay, so now we all know that who we are today is not who we were yesterday, and it's not who we're going to be tomorrow. So knowing that, we know that we can't count on, let's say this way, I can't count on me to be what I want me to be, so how can you count on me at all? And then if someone's counting on me and I'm counting on them, isn't that all just an unrealistic expectation?
I tend to agree with that.
Right? Right? So then when we're signing up to be in a marriage, or be in a relationship, we're really saying that, okay, this is the person, I guess a better way of saying it is, this is the person that I'm going to be with while we both discover who we are. And the goal is for us to stay together and work together and support each other as we do that. Is that?
I guess that's what you're saying.
Maybe that's what we should be.
Right, but
That's
I don't.
clear.
Right, but I don't. But the reality is that ain't what people are doing.
Nah, people doing all different. Yeah, it's
I like
different
you.
ways.
But you could say exactly what you said in concept, but in practicality, that can become unbearable to you or to them.
Exactly.
In a sense, yeah.
And then you have to make some decisions.
Yeah, but
Right.
I think that's what it is. No matter how you do it, it's gonna be uncomfortable. Because if you fighting against the person, it's gonna be uncomfortable. If you fighting with them, it's gonna be uncomfortable. If you doing the work on yourself, it's gonna be uncomfortable because they not gonna always understand that you're doing work on yourself. Even if they don't work on themselves. So it's gonna be a continuous evolution. It's gonna be a continuous tumbleweed. All of it.
But you gotta have those conversations.
It's just you deciding which uncomfortable you prefer.
Okay. So, okay.
But the uncomfortable is a moving target. That's the thing. At different points.
At different points of life, I agree with that.
But that goes back to what you said in the beginning, though, and that is true because every situation and scenario has an equal polarity.
Yep.
So like, there's going to be goods and bads to everything you may encounter in life. There's a good side to it. That's on the highs. There's a bad side to it. Those are the lows. So like, it's never a constant thing where you plateau and like life is just marvelous all the time. Nah, it's going to be ups and downs.
That's the disconnect.
Situations happen.
People build best case scenario without considering polarity.
Right.
So then when they meet the polarity, they be like, oh, that shit was toxic.
Yeah.
It's like
Nah, it wasn't always.
You built something without deciding what was going to be the byproduct of that building.
And sometimes when it becomes toxic, this is y'all time to grow.
Yeah,
and maybe you ain't seeing it. That's why you like, I'm tired of this toxic shit. Like, no, you ain't seeing what you gotta learn to not be toxic no more.
Right. That's real.
They showing you.
Yeah, that's real.
If you in it with them and you're saying I'm tired of this, yeah, you in it with them. So like, if they toxic, you probably just as toxic.
Right.
But people don't do self-evaluation. And I keep telling people all the time. You have to do a self-evaluation before you can go up and say, well, you're like this, and start pointing the finger. You can't do that. You got to go ahead and say, okay, how am I performing in this situation? How am I looking at you? Like, how can I look at you and say, okay, well, you're not doing what you need to do, and then I'm sitting over here, I'm perfect. No, it's never like that, bro. And that's why people passed off that perception of like, I'm perfect. And I even had to catch myself like that before. You know what I'm saying? In the previous situation, I'm like, I'm doing everything that you possibly could want. Like, how can you go and go do such and such this? But then in the reality, this person wasn't ready to receive what I'm already like performing at this level. Yeah, so it's just like, that person has to figure out where they feel in, and then also where they're at in life as well. Right. You can't force somebody to be on the same level as you, because a lot of times we're never on the same level.
And I think that's one of the most difficult things, because you can be in this relationship situation, you can do a self-check like he's talking about, and you can realize some things about yourself where you're ready to deal with those and have that discussion in a relationship, but the other side of the relationship might not be ready for that. Right. And then where are you? Right. You're just kind of adrift. You know?
Right, and see, and we talked, I think we hit on this a little bit in the last conversation, because it's like, me and my wife are in the room, something happens, we're there sharing the experience, but our shared experience is still, it's still different. I'm seeing it my way, she's seeing it her way, right? So whatever happens, and let's say she gets her thing and she's moving and she's doing all the work, and I'm over here like, yeah, whatever, that kind of thing, right? she has a choice. She can say, yeah, you ain't where I want you to be, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move on. But I think what we miss is it may have taken her 5 years of us being at a certain level for this thing to happen to trigger her for that change, spark that change, right? And then, so let's say it took her 5 years to get there. She don't want to give me 30 days. Because I'm not where she thinks I should be based upon the fact that we have this shared experience. She is now using her growth as a way of looking down on me in our relationship together to say that she deserves something different or something better.
Right.
Right? So when we're doing that, one of the questions I have is, why are we so unwilling to give the other person the same amount of grace, at least the same amount of grace that we receive in doing that? Because while she's doing whatever she's doing with that 5-year period, I'm with her while she's doing that, whatever it is she's doing.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a recency bias here. When you realize something about, now you feel that's the only way to do things.
Right.
You've come to a truth.
Right.
And now you're in a place that, like, yeah, I might have fooled around for 5 years, but like now I figured out this is what needs to happen.
Right.
And it's like, that's powerful.
Right.
Internally.
Yeah.
And you begin to look at other people, and it's, I mean, you can apply that to other stuff. Like, okay, if you've been a fat guy for like 10 years, and finally you get in the gym, drop 50 pounds, and you become completely different mentally.
Right.
It's like, you can't look at somebody drinking soda and eating chicken wings and say, it's different.
Right.
And you have that problem.
Right.
And that there's no easy answer.
But that's the, because Jason brought up like a similar concept with like something like that. But it's because, like I said, no matter how you take it, it's gonna be uncomfortable. So like, there may be some growth that you have obtained with self-awareness and work that the person that you with has not reached. But there's also some growth and awareness that they have obtained that you have not. And so, right. But even in talking about it, it's only going to build as fast as the person build it for themselves. So you either going to gracefully be patient with that, or you going to say I deserve something else. But the reality is, wherever you go, it's going to be the same exact thing, because it's going to always be about self-development. It's going to always be about self-awareness. It's going to be always about doing the work in yourself. So like, you go find somebody else who has what you have down, and you gonna be with them, and then they gonna find something that they don't like about you, or vice versa, and y'all gonna be in the same boat.
And so maybe all these things need to be temporal relationships and not trying to start something out.
We should have multiple wives. Right.
Seriously. We say, YOLO, you've got one life to live.
Right.
And if you're in a bad relationship that's in a bad place, and maybe it's because there's improvement, and how much time do you commit to that before you hit the ejector seat?
Right.
And there's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee that person's ever going to make the
Right.
leap that you
Right.
want.
Right.
And we talk
How
about
much grace do you get?
And we talk about talking about it. Like, I've been in 100 conversations. Like, you can say the words, they don't mean shit. If the pupil's not ready, to teach, you're going to hear.
Yeah, but what you said is also important, because you said if it's a bad. Just because y'all not agreeing on something, or you see some place where they haven't elevated and you feel like you have, that doesn't mean that it's bad.
I mean, it's a deal breaker.
It's bad.
It don't make it a deal breaker. It's a deal breaker.
That doesn't mean it's a deal breaker all the time.
Yeah.
So like the thing is, yeah, you only live once, and yeah, we can rebound and get the person we want this time, and then move on, and move on, and move on. Then after a while, your steps get a little slower. You can't dance the same way. You don't move the same way. You're not the same person. And then you're trying to start over with somebody who can dance just as good as they dance. And then you like, damn, I should just stay with this girl. We could have worked out these steps together.
If you're that bad off, it's time to expire.
So wait a minute. This is the thing. So it's a concept of so it was a lady online. She got online and she was like, I just want to give like my feeling about her situation. She left her husband, who was a good man to her, because she went and got her bachelor's degree. She got her doctorate degree. She got in the career she wanted, right? So she felt like he wasn't at the pinnacle that she was at, so she ended up leaving him. So when she left him, this man ended up, you know what I'm saying, he's a little heartbroken or whatever it may be. She done jumped out in these streets and realized these streets got speed bumps. So she kept hitting the speed bump, boom, boom, boom. This man done moved on. He's happy in his life. He's doing what he need to do. He's finally at the caliber of man
that she was looking at, now she out in these streets, can't figure out what she want and don't nobody else want.
You can't hug them to breathe.
So, you know,
just warm.
so,
You can't do other things.
so at the end of the day, she said she was like, the way she looks at it is like she left a man that all she had to do was take that time with him and just let him grow into who she, you know what I'm saying, who he was going to evolve into. But instead, she was like, oh, I can get this type of man, I can get that type of man, and the same type of men do the same thing she's doing, speed bump.
I mean, so sometimes you gotta weigh it too, because they may not be where it may be some superficial shit that you think is important.
Yeah,
Well,
there might be a lot of things.
So sometimes just like they just gonna be that way, man,
Yeah.
and it don't matter. Like, okay, you just gonna operate in that way, and that's fine.
I never
It ain't hurt
understood
me,
when
it ain't hurt
somebody
you.
say, so I have friends, I talk to them still, you know what I'm saying, they overseas or whatever.
They in Dubai.
So, and then we had a conversation about why they're not dating, or they can't find a man to do this, and I'm like, well, do you really know what a man looks like? And we have that conversation, and someone be like, you know what, my dad wasn't there, my uncle wasn't there, I never seen kind of on the simple fact of what Katira said before. Like, she seen no men in her life, so therefore, and I'm like, well, how can you go outside and say you want a man that's like this, and this, when that's superficial as hell, because ain't no man coming with all that. And if he is coming with all that, get away. He probably got somebody else too, because he can afford to have somebody else too. And that's the reality of it.
Right.
If I can sit here and give you everything you want, and you're not forcing me into marriage, or I don't see marriage being something like Jason might not ever want to get married. Jason fall into like a few million or so. He might get him like 4 or 5 with the thing, just sitting around waiting on it. Thinking about it. That's the reality. But these women that
like,
you might
"That's
get with, they may have never seen a man before, so they think what Jason is doing is everything that a man has to offer for them, because that's all they've either seen on the internet, or, you know what I'm saying, they've never seen it, so like him being
that. It's when it's up on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it's happening to you, that's what it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it ain't no internet involved.
Yeah, ain't no internet.
It's what it is when it's there.
So you start applying that pressure, bro, and they don't know no difference, but then that dude get what he wanted and he stopped.
It's also what Dennis said though, like it's like the Kevin Samuels effect. Like Kevin Samuels' whole like template was, all right, build the perfect man in your eyes. Now, would that perfect man want you?
Why would he want you?
Yeah, why would he?
What is it about you? What does he get? But basically the way he, I get this all the time. I get this all the time.
It was a delivery, bro.
The phrasing, but see, here's the thing. I get that the phrasing, the way he put it, I get that it didn't sound good, but I also thought it was significant. It was significant because it made the world start hearing it the way it said at the barbershop.
Yeah.
Right? And it was being said to women to make women listen to how men think. Like the whole reason we started this panel, was so that we could say things to give women our perspective, so they had that in mind when they were dealing with us. But what I saw happening when Kevin Samuels was doing it, one of the things I witnessed is they still wanted to tell him what we're supposed to do.
Right.
And he would say, listen, I can't change men. Right? And I thought that was significant. I can't change men. I'm telling you how men are. And it was like, what was being ignored was, okay, so even though that's how y'all are, why don't y'all change?
Right.
Right? So it wasn't, why don't we change? It was, why don't y'all change? Or why don't we work together? It was so we've had enough of these conversations where this theme I kind of picked up on, and I've asked women, as I said, for the women that I know who have the conversation about equality, I said, I'm not sure that it's equality that you're asking for. And the reason I say that is when men are having conversations with you and they're saying, let's be equal, there's something on this side of being equal that you don't want to do. So do we really want to be equal? Right? I mean, they thought stuff like there's so many, 90% of the bricklayers are men. So we're going to be equal, and we're going to say 50% of bricklayers are going to be women, and 50% are going to be men. Is that what we're saying? Because that's
or 90% should be women, because I don't want to live.
So it's like let's have an honest conversation, right? Let's have an honest conversation. What do you really want? And and I think that's what Kevin Samuels did. He says, because he never, and this is something that my wife was surprised at when I actually said this to her. I said, he never tells them what they want. He asks questions and they say what they want.
He traps them in their own delusion.
Yes, right. And then he shows that it's a delusion. And then they got mad because the fantasy's been screwed up. But now, shout out to Zoe Williams. Zoe said, don't date your idea, date the man.
That's very rare.
Exactly. So, but
you gotta overcome so much of mental clogging. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so much going on in there to even be able to be here. just to be here.
Right, but that's why I think having these conversations are significant, because we get to say, don't date your idea, date the man, which basically says when you're at the table having dinner, pay attention to who you're having dinner with.
Yeah.
See them, not your fantasy, not your idea, not your hope, not your expectation.
But most
see them.
Most people don't, because you're so busy trying to make them into what you want.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like that's both ways.
Yeah. I said people.
No.
Yeah, but in the beginning, not the most people think, but in the beginning, people are trying to be what they think the other person wants to.
Agreed.
Like, I'm trying to present myself to be all the things that I think you are.
I tried that before. I ain't gonna lie. When I was young, I tried it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be everything that I think this person wants. That is a complete fail.
But
when I showed up to the table as me,
we're all saying that, and we're saying that we need to say that more often. Y'all need to say that fantasy, what we're saying is it makes sense to institutionalize that sending your representative forward to represent you in terms of trying to build the life of somebody is some bullshit that we need to cut out.
Yeah.
Right? So I think, so now the more we say that, the more it gets heard, and then that becomes the thing. Okay, let me really pay attention to who this person is.
But that goes back to the fact that when I say look at somebody's life resume, you know what I mean? You look at their life resume, like, I think, we had a conversation about this too. When you see 3, 4, 5 different, you know what I'm saying, baby daddies or whatever it may be, let's be real. You about to be number 6. Because there's something about that person that ain't, you know what I'm saying, that ain't really.
That part, yeah.
So,
it's something about that thing.
It's something about that thing. It's something about that thing that's
It's something about that thing that's his. But at the same time, bro, you might come up out of there and she might hit you. You know what I'm saying? So it might be like, okay, well, now I see why nobody's staying with. But then automatically people say, well, it's the man's fault. It's the man's fault. It's like, no, she just can't keep one.
Maybe she just don't want to keep one, though. That's the thing.
It's obvious. It's everybody's fault. See, it's everybody's fault. It's everybody's fault. It's everybody's fault. If you there, you supposed to be there.
People get mad at you, bro. When I was out there, bro, they like, I got three different baby daddies. No problem, that's on you. It was good, it was nice meeting you. What's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with you, but something's wrong with it for me. Because I ain't got time to be dealing with 3 kids that's got 3 different attitudes and 3 different babies.
But that's the whole.
Somebody will.
Somebody will.
And that's somebody that made 2 or 3 more babies with the same.
Hey, but this is the thing too. Sometimes it may be more times often than not. Nobody don't come do it.
Yeah.
People be saying that, but nobody don't be coming all the time.
Yeah.
For real, some of these women that ain't gonna have nobody, and they just gonna raise their
80%.
For real, that's reality.
80% of households single mom.
Hey, but
so it's a little bit more than
so
some.
it's not all. So people be saying, somebody gonna do it. Man,
bro.
They might don't get nobody. It might be over with. But somebody might be in prison or dead already. You might have missed it.
He out there, you just gotta work with him. This is the thing. No, I'm gonna say this. I'm about to flip it. Because when you see a woman might be in that situation, then she thinks she working with this dude that's, you know, trying to put it together, not realizing he working with you too,
Right, yeah.
because you got a house full of kids. Like, but he might not be stable in certain areas, so where you think you're doing him a favor or whatever. But really, y'all both working with each other,
Y'all need each other.
and that's okay.
But
the world teaches you like.
Man, some of these
The
dudes
world
waiting
wanna
on these
teach-
kids to grow up, bro, and be almost out the house before they get with these women. That's what they
The
do.
world always teaches women that they doing you, somehow they working with you.
They ain't trying
And
to
like working with you to like get your stuff together. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes, yeah.
But in a lot of situations, but it's like this. If this brother was to really speak his mind, you'll really understand that he working with you too.
Yeah.
So maybe y'all can both give each other some grace, and y'all
As soon as
can.
she speaks his mind, she finna put his
But
ass
nobody's
right out.
aware of anybody else.
She finna put his ass right out the house.
You just like only worried about you. You like, man,
You
I'm
don't
tired
tell
of
me
this.
shit about my kids.
That's it.
And
You
then
ain't
he out
trying
the
to see
house.
what they worried
So
about.
that's where we go back to the love and marriage thing. Okay, this man loves you. He's taking on whatever you got going on. But the moment he try to help you parent, now you want to put this motherfucker out the house.
hey, but this
Come on, bro. It can't be like that,
This the
bro.
thing though. The misconception
Man,
is
it
It
just
can, but it's just
get what
it's
you get
turmoil.
when it is like that.
It's turmoil, bro.
the misconception is that you meeting somebody and that you somehow above them or they below you.
Yeah.
That's not how meetings work.
Yeah.
No. Like you like can I meet a woman on Facebook if I never had Facebook? I have to be there.
Right.
I have to exist in the same on the same plane
Yeah,
that you
same
exist
way.
on. It just don't look the same.
There's
Because
stuff on your Facebook page that you go right past.
Yeah.
There's stuff on your Facebook page you cannot go past.
yes.
It resonates with your spirit, and that's why you're there. That's why it's like, I'm a relationship coach. Getting people to understand how relationships work is extremely challenging because they want to believe that they're the victim of something.
Yeah.
Right? They want to believe that this was not supposed to happen to me. Yes, it was.
It was in your
The
journey.
lesson is your blessing. Now, if you're not wise enough to recognize that, then modify your behavior. Listen. You're in first grade, you go to second grade. Right? You go from second grade, you go to third grade.
Back to program.
If you still hanging out with everybody in first grade, are you really in third grade? Right? So that's how life works. When you're on the same level, you're on the same level. So when you meet somebody, the two of you are together. Together. So that means that you're supposed to be there, and there's something there you're supposed to get. But see, we get caught up in the fantasy about what a relationship is supposed to be, and the fantasy is it's supposed to make me feel good.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Bullshit.
That's bullshit. The relationships are designed for you to see your bullshit, so that you can grow and
So you
change
can grow.
from it.
Yeah, you
Right, so
grow.
you can grow, so you can grow and change from it. But if you're going to like, that nigga wasn't no good. That bitch, she was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
All right, so now you keep doing that, and you keep saying that. You're going to keep saying it.
Yeah,
Nigga,
sure.
ain't no good man out there. No, baby, no.
It's everybody but you.
It's everybody but you.
And that-
Common denominator.
And
Right.
that shit just don't work that way, man. It don't work a way where she got 7 kids and you make $18,000 a year and you got 2.
Are you purposely adding more kids to this scenario?
That's 9. I get what you said. It's 9 kids. You made 18,000. There's nothing y'all can do.
Yeah, like
I did in Section 8 and all that other stuff.
See, but that's government
I
assistance.
tell how
You can't be
stuff.
on that.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can't have no man.
can't
We
be on
talked
that
about that
and have no
before.
Damn, you can't.
No, bro, you got to hide under the bed.
no, he just gotta have a garbage bag with all his stuff fit in.
Yeah, my homeboy he used to keep all his stuff in the trunk of his car. And one time they popped up, he had to hide in the attic.
Oh my God!
And they go through the drawers and everything,
They
make sure it's
do
not bad.
Made a reference. To
Yeah.
something.
That's what you
I
can't jack me up. That's what you gotta do, man.
Hey,
No, we
I
are
like
the
what
man.
y'all.
We the man.
We the man this out.
Is that where that came from? The man.
We the man.
Yesterday,
Yeah.
right?
They
Yesterday,
replaced
I'm
him,
on.
so they the man.
Yesterday I'm on Facebook, it's this woman, right, beautiful woman, right, she makes a post, she says, I love a man who's just about his money and he's not on social media at all. And I said, but you on
Yeah,
here.
you want
She deleted my comment.
where you gonna meet him at? Where you
I
meet
don't
him
be
at?
on social media.
What you doing?
You
shit?
want somebody
tighten that
that's not
ass.
like you?
The only man you gonna meet is the one that's looking at this.
You want somebody that's not like you? like,
Yes.
I mean, that is the. That's the.
At least
thing about
that's
it.
what they think.
That's the
what
thing
they
that went
think.
viral. I need a man that's better than me.
Right.
Because I'm not settling, and I said, so you want the man to settle for you?
Right.
Because that's what a man's supposed to do.
But
They-
see, Kevin Samuels said that before.
Yeah,
He said, okay, you come here and this man has all this going for himself. And then you want to come in with the bare minimum and he's supposed to just accept you with your bare minimum and 3 or 4 kids.
She don't
Then
think
they
her
be
bare
like,
minimum
but
is
look
bare
at me.
minimum, though.
But it's also like,
But I got good kids.
but they got upset.
You a lie. You don't even know your kid.
But the
You say
thing
that,
is,
you
people
don't
got
know.
upset with him for saying that, but it was true.
But
It was
the-
like, you come in a situation like this,
But
how can you assume
it's all
that?
about what you got to offer, though, because you can have a lot of things, and she may be able to provide you some things that you don't have, the things that you
Agreed,
need.
but when-
Like
but-
for me,
but-
I don't want to date myself.
No, I'm just
I
Agreed,
don't
but
want somebody that's
I think what you're saying is completely
You heard
valid.
your passport wars?
But for us on our side, when we say it the other way around, it's not received that way.
Yeah, it ain't perceived.
Because you're saying that when she comes into his life, she has these other things that can make the situation better, make life better. But when we flip it the way around, we say, well, he comes into the situation, there's things that he can do to make things better. It's just not received the same. And I get it, but it's just not.
You gotta look at the NFL draft. NFL draft, you see somebody sitting right next to that man. Alright? She might have just met him last 6 months ago. They in a relationship. He done got drafted. Now, guess what? He's on this level now. Okay, she's still in college or whatever. She's still learning, figuring it out. Guess what? He brings her along with him. Now, who's brought who up?
But that's no.
But see, I think the mistake we made, is that one is actually better than the other.
Right.
I think right.
The better, nobody's saying.
But when you
better.
say level, what you mean? Are you talking about net worth, or are you talking about spiritual levels? Like what you?
She
talking
probably works
about?
just as hard at whatever it is she does as he did to get to the NFL.
Right. That's the thing. Though. That's
Sometimes you can't rule that out.
no, but
In some instances, yes.
To a level of expertise and learning and experience that's extraordinary. Most people don't do that. That's why it's called extraordinary. And so that's just a ridiculous notion. Now, if you say somebody who's like a world-class violin player and they meet with a draftable NFL player, now we're talking like for like. But if you're working at like some random ass accounting firm and this other guy is in the NBA draft, it's apples and
Nah, but
oranges.
if you're boxing, but in my mind, I'm thinking like if you're a great wife, you're a great mother, 2 children, you are a great, you know what I'm saying, family man.
We're not even talking about marriage.
Yeah, you feel me? Like
Yeah, that
then,
makes sense.
then to me, we on an equal playing field. If I'm out here on Sundays, and you know,
But that's just
doing
like
these
they always
2
say.
But at that point, to me, at that point, and one of the things for like a marriage and a dynamic is compatibility. Like, do you have like values that align?
Yeah.
And like, okay, I'm this NFL guy. I make a great income. I value somebody that's going to, mother the children and be my kind of partner, realizing that my time level and commitment to pursue the career that I have is different than a 9-to-5 person.
But
That's okay.
That grind is
That
gonna be
may
real
work.
different.
But that's also the thing. The thing is, people think that when you say that it's a mirror, they think it means that you look in the mirror, y'all look exactly alike. That's not what it means. It means that you're hunting the same thing. So like, yeah, he goes to NFL and he need a woman who can bear his children, because what you also notice when these athletes have these women by them, they play volleyball for 12 years because they athletes. Not all of them, but they athletes.
Say, bro, let's be real, bro. They go get a bartender,
Twan, listen
Come on, bro. We know so many dudes in the league, bro. That done married a bartender, bro.
Some but not all.
I say some. I didn't say all of them.
I'm saying he's saying
Twan, listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying, Twan. They have this woman who they want her for a specific thing. That woman also want him for a specific thing. So what you hunting is also hunting you. It don't mean that because he got money that he's above her. No, he want a bimbo that he can say, look at my fine wife.
Nobody said above.
No, but
it's the fact of
when you start using words like levels and shit like that means that you think that there's a level that you're not on and you dragging the other one up or they dragging you down.
That don't be true.
And that's not how it works. It never works that way.
Yeah, it's
okay, well,
yeah,
shit.
that would be like
All right.
societal stature, but man, like you probably like on the same plane as far as like with train of thought.
Y'all on the same shit. Y'all probably both airheads. Y'all probably both bimbos. You just 6'8" and you can dribble a basketball. That's it. So y'all end up being together, have a superficial life where he buy you stuff and fuck your brains out until you don't want to fuck your brains out no more. Marcia pimping, and then she gonna buy somebody else. Like that. It's not like a predator and a prey. It's a predator and a predator.
Yeah.
And if you think that she's the prey, then she's really the biggest predator because she got you fooled.
They go for the home managers, bro.
Look, Amber gonna
You're
make
gonna
the
be
house
in the city
clean.
every week. You're gonna be making this money. You're gonna be doing this ad and doing this Make-A-Wish kid thing.
And she gonna pack the condoms because she know what we doing
You're
here.
the home manager.
She know what we doing here.
Let's understand that you're gonna be in a different city every other week during the season, and that the most beautiful, most successful women in the world are going to want to be close to you.
Yeah, just don't give that
So
girl
you're
the
gonna
phone
need
number
somebody
that you
that's
give me.
confident.
That's
You're gonna need a woman that's confident. You're gonna need a woman that's confident.
they gotta have contract.
Do you go? Well,
That's what any man goes. If you make these days, if you make 200,000, you need a woman that's confident because you still a man that can make your own way.
Right, you still up.
Whatever that looks like to any group of women. One thing a woman love is a man that can make his own way. To some women that may look different. To some women that may look like 100. Some women that may look like 250. Some women that may look like $1 million.
OJ, the girl who got Section 8, my 20 grand when I was making 20 grand, I was up.
That's crazy.
He had a good ass job.
That's
Man,
crazy.
come on. It's always somebody who think
That's
they
no good.
It's always somebody who think they hunting you and you hunting them and y'all both at the same space. Her rent $39, so it all balance out.
Damn.
Come on, man, y'all gotta stop.
No, wait, what else?
it takes. I think it's fair to say it takes an extraordinary.
$6.
Come on, you don't know?
I don't
No, you don't know.
What seven kids girl you talking about?
You've been in Dubai.
The 7 kids.
They don't have
7
that in
kid
Dubai.
girl dropping Nissan Altima, bro. And she got 7 kids. She dropping Nissan Altima. Rent $39. They give her a little stipend for the lights. You lit. So I've been told.
I've been told.
I don't know one with 7 kids. I know one with 10 kids.
I know a girl with 7 kids before she was 25.
I know exactly
Anyway,
what Hey, that girl went in when he was
Tuesday night, right? Don't do that.
You know what? She takes responsibility.
Yeah.
Oh, it's one night with 7 questions.
Yeah.
This shit all a game. You think you went up to somebody, man? You where you supposed to be. Whoever you meet, they was there with you.
It takes an extraordinary woman to be with an extraordinary man.
But wait, hold up. Because we was just I was disputing what you said the other day. Because sometimes a person I can go to the mall right now, I can deceive, bruh. I can deceive at an interview and get a job I'm not qualified for. I can deceive at a networking event and get a woman I'm not qualified for. Now, by the time she realizes who I am, it's too late. I mean, she can probably cut it short then, but you can deceive your way into a spot that you really don't belong at, and then you can say, oh, that's your mirror. You can get guys.
This is what you're talking about.
No, okay.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, like, you do talk to women, and like they have been almost like catfish. Like I've talked to people and they have stories, and it's like they thought this guy was ABC.
I hear it all the time.
Turned out that it was.
That's
like a real thing.
Yeah, I agree. But
Like Derek Jackson.
no, but
in the world.
yeah, he is.
You want to catfish in the worst catfish in a certain side
He
of the
is
world.
though.
Well, you're right.
But like when somebody is deceiving, yeah, if you allow them to deceive you, it's something about how you will be deceiving too.
No, but
Or
they
like
can
you-
they can
Yeah,
just be
man.
that good,
Yeah, man. No, that shit don't lie, bro. That
They
shit
can
don't lie.
be that good, man.
Yeah, and you just didn't
Or
get
you
to
could be
see
that- or
when
you
she
could
was
be that
like,
desperate.
whoo, yeah, shit, he was good. Shit, he didn't get to see, he got me. That's what it be. You just don't see the other side. If you can trick somebody like that, man, they probably fake too.
Yeah.
You just don't know it yet. You just only know you was
That's
fake.
possible.
And you like, dang, I'm caught. Or you might think you caught.
Yeah.
I'm not
And she
disagreeing
like,
with that, but it's also possible that you can just get dude.
Hold on.
I don't think you be getting duped. I think you just ran into
I got a question for Jason.
You ran into somebody who was better at whatever you was doing.
Yeah.
It's only that way, bro.
I got it.
It's never no other way, dog.
I can go to church right now, and I can put a suit on, and I can dupe me one of them women, bro.
Yeah,
You know,
man.
and
And it's fun, but they gonna want to do you.
And it's gonna look it's just it, and her whole facade may be just look like that. It still really ain't even that.
But she
You
don't know
just
I'm
think
praying.
it
I
is.
got my Bible with
And
me.
you don't know she might.
Hey, you got your shield?
She's praying too. When she get the Tampa, when she get the Tampa lady,
She's like, oh, that look,
it's different. It just be different. And you think you did it. You like, oh my God. This is kind of like me. That's what it is.
Hey, if you fuck on the job, you still fucking.
I'm just saying. You can tell it, but you can tell the job, oh yeah, man, plenty of people been found out they didn't have a degree, they wasn't qualified in this, they lied at the job, then it came out that they was lying and they got fired. Yeah. So it's like,
okay, but then,
you can break up with the woman as soon as you find out she's not really who she pretended to be. You know, maybe that should just
she pretended to be.
a lesson in boundaries for you to see if you can stick to your boundaries, or it doesn't necessarily mean that was your mirror and you on the same shit. Because as soon as you find out she a lie, you can be like, you know what, I'm good. You know,
Nobody else's phone. And you finna give me my shit. Don't touch me. That's on my mom. Don't touch me. Girl, don't touch me. Girl, don't touch me.
Get a teacher.
Somebody get a fucking teacher. Get a fucking teacher. Get a fucking teacher. Get a fucking teacher. Get a teacher. Get a teacher. Somebody get a teacher. I don't give a fuck. Get out.
everything, man, you can get duped, man.
I don't know, man. You know, stuff be coming out later. And then years later, you be like,
So when something vicious happens to somebody, that's
real,
their
and it just
mirror,
be-
automatic.
Okay, hold on.
When something vicious happens to somebody, automatic, that's their mirror.
No, but what I do know, because this is what I do, man. Anybody I dated and they've done wrong to me, there were signs beforehand, and I was
Have you ever not been in a relationship with your mirror?
I mean, I think, yeah, every time.
So what are you talking about, Jay?
But I'm saying, I can go and
that's
dupe
it right
somebody,
there.
though.
No, and this is what makes me think that because me too though. I have never ever thought of a situation that I was in and it wasn't.
I got a job one time. Listen,
Can't find one.
I got a job one time. I was not qualified for it, man. After 3 weeks, I had to quit. Because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
You had to quit, bro. You gonna face that mirror every
They
time,
were bringing
bro.
on more shit.
Everybody he knows this.
But I wore the
Put it on his
suit.
desk.
I said, do.
Well, Jay, you not an accountant?
But man, I ain't know how to do none of that shit, man. I was getting anxiety.
Listen. I said a con man cannot con you unless you agree to participate in the con.
But they can be smooth.
Then that means you are compromising something within yourself to allow that.
Maybe you can. No, not necessarily. They can just be that good.
Jay, man, come on, man.
Wait.
So,
You just that vulnerable.
Never happened.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. He's saying you was just that vulnerable. I agree with that. But that don't mean you running the con.
Yes, it is, man.
No.
Jay,
No. I didn't say you were running the con. I said you agreeing to
yeah,
participate.
you, come on, man.
You're agreeing to participate.
But
They run the
unknowingly.
they're running.
Unknowingly.
You still agree?
Okay, we can agree on that. But I'm saying it doesn't mean like I'm running game because you running game.
Listen, it can be a number of things.
But you playing the game.
No, I might just fell for the game, and that's something I need to. No, but that's something life is showing me that I need to shore up my boundaries. That I need to be more present and more honest with myself, so that I don't allow people to breach. You know what I'm saying?
So you agree. That's what I'm saying.
You saying the same thing. It's just look.
But it don't mean I'm a piece of shit because they're a piece
No,
of shit.
it got nothing to do with being a piece of shit, though. Got nothing to do with being a piece of shit. Y'all both was playing the game.
I'm just
and
saying
you got
this,
to turn
though.
it into
I don't
shit.
see too many people cozying up to a piece of shit.
I do what? Are you kidding me?
Hold on, hear me this. Hear me now. So usually laying next to a piece of shit is another piece of shit. Right. That's usually how it's a pile of shit. Yeah. Y'all fell out the same ass, man. You trying to act like y'all didn't.
You just know you've been a piece of shit before.
Yeah.
I've been a piece of shit.
What? Oh yeah.
Just because you identify as a good
Oh,
person
shit,
don't
I
mean you're a good
identify.
person, bro. You're not a trans good person, bro. That's not how it works.
But I had a woman tell me, you know, I said from the beginning, hey, this is where I'm at with it. And she was like, all right, cool. And then like a month later, she was like, that's not cool.
I've also had a woman sound like Morris Chestnut, and she asked for more lobster. She was playing the game, bro. Hey, come on, man, you can't.
But I want to like who? But okay, but look,
You can see it a little bit.
But look,
How did she look at you like that?
But look, I was being honest, and she was playing the game. No, you know what? Maybe she felt like she was being honest at the time. Yeah.
Well, since she ordered lobster.
I believe that. I believe at the time when she said I'm good with that, she believed that she was.
Jay, but you know she wasn't good with that. That's the thing. Like y'all playing the game. So
I'm not playing the game. I'm being honest.
No, but you accepted her lie as the truth, and you know it was a lie.
And she was like,
until I know.
Hey, come on now.
Come on, Jay. She just kind of was
Jay,
like,
you being a contrarian, bro, because you know.
Until I know.
Hey, you wanted to see what that pussy was like. Then you was like, you know what? Let me get my boundaries. After you got the pussy, like you talking about your boundaries. Get out of here, Jay. You playing, man.
No. Because I said, you know what? Because in my growth, I said, you know what? I'm just start being honest about everything from the beginning. And that way, if you're not with this, I'm not Mr. Right. I'm Mr. Right now.
That's because you no longer playing the game. You no longer playing the game.
yeah, you being.
Please don't fuck with me if you're not with this.
There you go. You described you being mature and not playing the game.
Yeah.
But when you was playing the game, you played stupid games. You went stupid
I
private.
did. Man, that's my karma, baby.
Yeah, man, because you like bullshit. You know it.
All right.
Hey, my karma came in the form of a woman.
I can talk circles around a woman too and win. You know, like I'm just my boundary right now. But if you want to just hang out, you can hang out. And I'm fucking her, and I know that she wanted to be with me for real.
And I'm just hanging out.
And I can't be like now I got to do my boundaries. I didn't know that you didn't know.
But I believe that maybe
playing
she
on
didn't
you already
believe-
know she liked
Maybe
it.
she
Yeah.
felt that
You knew you had all the cards.
But no. Let me tell you something. Okay, boom, bam. True life. I had a woman to be like, you know, we agreed on the terms from the beginning. And when we got to the place, it made me so, okay, it's unveiling itself to me right now.
You see it.
Sit down. No, because
This guy says he's rebuilding himself, but you a dirty
because you know what? I see it now.
You're witnessing this real time, folks.
I'm explaining. I'm be honest. So, okay, because, you know, I used to feel like a victim at the end because they act like they was my victim. And I'm like, how the hell am your victim? But I had a woman say, you know what? Hey, my mind changed. I realized that I do want something more. But I respect that you're not there. So, you know, respectfully, you know what I'm saying, we can change this dynamic to a fresher dynamic.
She put a you on you.
No, listen. And I said, it finally clicked to me. I said, I realized you're a woman, you got the right to change your mind. And I respect that. And we just went to being friends. But in the past, I used to feel like, oh, no, you trying to set me up for the okie doke. And you lied to me and said you was cool with it, but really you weren't cool with it. You were just working the move.
Right.
But this woman, she is 100. And she was like, nah, but she was like, also thank you because what we had is beautiful. I appreciate every bit of it. And it helped me to realize that I actually do want what I want. And we good.
So
and I was like, and I understand that you have the right to change your mind at any time about what you want. And that was a lesson for me.
you recognize the mirror, she recognized the mirror.
That was a lesson for me. Okay, I see that.
That's all it is.
You know, but neither one of us was no piece of shit.
Nobody got to be a piece of shit to be on the bullshit. That's the thing.
We weren't bullshitting each other. We was actually being honest and present in the
Y'all
moment.
was bullshitting yourselves.
No,
you telling the truth because
I was bullshitting nothing. Because I was still right on my same deal that I was on from the beginning.
Hey, that one I started getting wet, Black. He's telling the truth.
No, but I realized.
You gotta know him, bro. That man's speaking the truth.
No, but I think a lot of times, as a man, you can kind of like be like, you think a woman automatically running games, but a woman has a right to change her mind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Every time.
So I believe that's what was my karmic lesson in that, because I would always feel like they was running games, but it could have been possibly when they did agree to those terms. They actually felt that way, and then their feelings changed.
Right.
So now I'm seeing what my current lesson to see was in that, and where the mirror was in that. So I see that.
That's all it is. It's not even like a bad thing, like, because that's why I can say every incident that I think of, casual, serious, deep. If I was enamored by how fine you is, and I wanted to fuck something, and then you fuck me over, I wasn't being genuine. Even if I can convince myself I was. Even if I can make it sound good, where I was just like, well, nah, I really didn't like the way her dimple was. Nah, I was trying to fuck something.
You gotta be real with
That's
yourself.
like,
Fake yourself.
Yeah, man, it ain't always just about sex, bro.
no, it ain't always.
It's just whatever you be
whatever
on.
it is.
No,
That's
but
just an
basically
example.
what
Whatever
you
you
said,
be on.
we've had this
Whatever
discussion
you
before.
I think we do get a bad rap of just doing what we gotta do to get sex, man. But that just be a byproduct of us being present.
But we've had that discussion before.
But we were trying to get.
So
And I ain't trying. I ain't trying to get sex.
Yeah, if
you're
it
gonna
happens.
want to
You
have
gonna
sex
give
with
me
me
these
when you decide you
Yeah,
have sex
bro,
with
this
me.
is gonna
I'm not
happen when
trying
you
to
want
run
to
no
do that.
game on you to have sex
It's not-
because my integrity, that's not cool.
Yeah, but you.
Yeah.
but
I'm
you-
not on that.
But
That ain't how-
But if you want to give it to me though, I'm gonna take it down.
But you also emotionally intelligent. You know if a woman, like sometimes it's like negotiate with a hostage. She willing to agree to anything because she like you.
Well,
That ain't got to do with me.
I'm finna
It
say,
does though. If you know better,
It does
but
if
if
you
you don't
play on.
present that,
So
but
if I
if you don't
say,
present
hey,
it,
don't give me the pussy because
yes,
I realize
yes,
you just
yes, yes.
want to give me the pussy
Yes.
because I'm me.
yeah,
That's what you-
it
yes.
sucks, but yes.
Be the big
yes, yes.
What?
It sucks, but yes. Have I always done that? No.
That makes sense.
Sometimes they want to give it to you more when you say you don't want it.
Yes.
Hey, man.
But you're
A
supposed to.
man is a man, bro. A
Again.
woman is attracted to a man,
But
bro.
Jay, again, it's just like the teacher. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying, best case scenario, if you're doing the right thing to keep yourself out of bullshit, and you know this is bullshit, remove yourself from it. Sometimes your dick doesn't think that same logical way, and you have to oblige.
well, shit, you
Because
gotta
I've
let
done
the
that.
two heads talk. You gotta get in a situation.
So are we saying that
I mean, I turned down plenty of sex, bro. So my dick don't run the show.
But
Yeah, I was
sometimes
gonna
it
say
has to say.
it doesn't anymore?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Would you- is that
No,
fair to
he's
say?
right. He said sometimes it has to say. No, that's okay. For sure.
Damn sure gotta
So
say it.
is it fair to say that we were not taught to be honorable in pursuit of a wife?
I don't think
That's true.
I don't think on either side.
Yeah.
I don't think on either side we haven't been taught to be honorable because we've been taught that it was a game. And so we do these things that are games. We do this like I'm going to wait 30 days and see if he really wanted it, he'll wait. Not understanding that a man is a hunter, he'll just wait.
I just came
So
as me, bro.
if we're not being honorable,
I came as me.
if we're not being honorable, then the person that we choose to not be honorable with is dishonorable as well.
So let's just dishonor each other.
Possibly, but like, okay, it's like Hunter. I got the duck call, man. So the ducks come, and then I shoot it down. So that doesn't necessarily mean that that woman is dishonorable. I could just learn her to the point that I know how to reel her in to be my prey.
Yeah, so you just described the manipulation.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
so that doesn't mean she's dishonorable.
No, but you manipulate.
Because I am.
But in the grand scheme of nature, what's hunting you is all you. When you hunting is also hunting you.
No, but she thought I was a duck because I did the duck call.
And then so you got her like a duck.
But that don't make her. She just did what her instincts tell her to do when a man presents himself to be this way.
Yeah, but the problem is she's chasing that way.
What matters is when she realizes that I'm not like that, what move she makes after that is going to determine internally who she is.
Or no, she gave you the pussy because she thought you were a winner. Because she wants to.
Bro, why do we keep going back to the term of pussy, bro? It ain't even just about like we've been so far.
But for a woman giving you that, we have. But for a woman giving you that to certain women, that's just a very precious thing for them to give.
Because we decided that it's a game. So if she think that this how I'm gonna keep a man by giving him the pussy, that's why I'm saying pussy. Because I like saying pussy. It's
a great word.
It's not even about the sex. Because sometimes women will use sex as a way of. Because on her side, she's also playing the game. That's the thing. Y'all both playing the game.
But she didn't want to give it to you because she deemed you worthy.
And I'm gonna think
worthy of what? To keep
it is.
Worthy just to get it, bro. I've had that happen.
It is her playing the game.
I didn't want it.
Like we said, she's after the way.
Hey,
she's after the way you are.
It's here.
She's not even really paying attention to you.
It's here.
Because it's fake.
Take it if you want it.
That's how you know she's not even paying attention to you. You're being fake. She don't even realize how fake this is. Because when you step back and look at fake, you be like, damn, that shit really is real fake.
Right. It's just the game.
But she's so oblivious by, the perfect way. Right. And she's like, there it is. And your green ass doing it. You're being the way. And she's like, oh shit. She's with it.
But she
is playing.
But you can sell it.
You can sell it and you're going to catch all the buyers. They're not even aware.
That's the whole thing. You can sell it. The thing people be like, now she realized who you is. No, it's not. She concluded with the game. She hasn't thought it through. So once that's over, now she can see, you just a bullshit. Yeah. Or and vice versa. You can be like, you just a bullshit.
Now what she do from there is gonna show where she's at with it.
Or she might feel like she can make you that way because at least you look like it.
But
it's a lot of layers.
We see that a lot.
It's a lot of layers when you play the game.
We see that a lot, but
how's she gonna know when she realizes? How does she know? Because she has to have seen this or know it's fake.
Right.
That's what we get into. You're still the fucking same. Right. Because for her to notice you fake, she been fake. For her to be like, he fixed it. He got it.
People that
she already know what fake like.
It's some people that can skip
Nah, man, y'all trying to sugarcoat it.
But that don't mean she fake. You can know fake and not be fake. You can see it, like literally see it, grow up seeing it, and that don't mean that's you. But when you see it in somebody else, and you just call bullshit.
Yeah, but the point. Hold on. How you grow up seeing something all the time and it's not of you?
But that don't mean that's who I am. Yes, I've seen it around me. I know how to identify with it.
And the reason why is because it's not really being fake, it's who the person is. It's a facade. It's a facade got up to make it seem like there's someone other than the fake person. And identify fake, you gotta be fake or know the emotions of a person that's faking. Right. So you gotta ask yourself, what bullshit you coming with? Man, if y'all would see my DMs right now since I came back from Vegas, man, look, these people around here going crazy in my DMs, right? So I came back. I'm posting them now. I've been posting some of them though. I've been posting them. Send me a little bro. I've been posting them. Yeah, since I came back from Vegas. And I'm posting license plates, all type of stuff. Leave me alone. But that's the thing. In order to because if I go to somebody,
what you are hunting is also hunting you.
Right.
Yeah, for always, man.
I live that.
You can negate
I live that.
Okay, here's what.
Hey, Black, where I live that at?
Do.
They definitely hunting you in Dubai.
They were, bro. That shit is crazy.
Do you think this society, right now in the society, what's happening that women value us as men?
In some instances.
They value what you can do for them. What you bring to the table for them.
Not all of them.
Most of them are.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you.
But how many of them are single?
He said in this society.
In this society. What we got going on?
But I would say, kind of going back to what you were talking about earlier, is like the notion of like seeing the person they're eating with versus seeing like
their fantasy.
Their fantasy.
Yeah.
I think that's very prevalent.
Yeah.
I think when you talk to like a lot of women kind of want the same thing.
Right.
And that same thing isn't necessarily me or you,
right,
but it's connected very much to how closely we can provide the fantasy.
See, now, when I started coaching, I used to do this when I was trying to, as I would like to say, get good at this thing. I would sit down, I would talk to a room full of women. And then I got to a point where I would ask the ladies in the room to hold their hand up. And I would say, if this has never happened to you, put your hand down. And I would say, have you ever ended a relationship with someone because it was a bad relationship and you did not say to yourself in some form, something deep inside of me always told me that he was no good. Something deep inside of me, there was something, so after the breakup, we can see that there were things about this person that we ignored, right? Yeah. So once you recognize that there was something deep inside of you, that's a confession that you saw it.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
But ain't a woman a nurturer? She a nurturer. She
that's
gonna make it better.
That's a sign that you saw it, and for whatever reason, you chose to move forward anyway. So to say this person did this to me is not accurate. Is me and that person did this to me. See, the whole thing is about, that's why I say, is, the con man can't con you unless you agree to participate in the con. If game, y'all say this a number of ways, game recognize game. Yeah. Right? This is the thing. Everybody, this is a game. Right? Life is a game that has some very serious consequences. Right? If you're talking, when young guys, young boys, you're being taught how to get into a relationship with a woman, they say, this is the game, right? Young girls are taught, this is the game. So, no, you were taught, you saw it.
Just right.
You saw it. So we learned to operate in dishonor to be with someone. So it makes sense that you will get to a point where now the dishonor is full-fledged, it's a grown tree, and you don't like the way the fruit tastes. It just makes sense. So I guess you say the work is start teaching these young people that are coming behind us to be honorable when they're dealing with people, to have integrity, to be a man or woman of character, to get to a place where your word actually means something. Those words are important. Native Americans, there's this thing, I watched a lot of Westerns, and there was this thing I caught years ago, and they say, white man speak the forked tongue. Right? It's like we have the ability to say something, knowing that what we're saying is going to be interpreted incorrectly. But because I'm saying it the way I'm saying it, I know that you're going to receive it the way you receive it, I know that I'm getting over on you, but you think I'm being honorable. But it's a hustle. My mama said, this is something my mama told me when I was a young boy, and I was really starting to get into the girls. She said, don't lie to women, baby. You ain't got to. They telling themselves enough. They're telling themselves enough lies about you before they even meet you. So when they meet you, you make sure you tell them the truth, because they're going to tell you that the truth you telling them ain't even the truth.
And that is
just so that they can have a reason to do it.
That's exactly what you said before, though. Typically, when a woman meets a man, she's a nurturer, she begins to attribute qualities and characters and almost build out a life. Mm-hmm. And it's like a scripted scenario. Right. And then if you ride along long enough with that, you just become the lead character in that movie.
Right.
But that's a real thing. That's a lot of thinking that women have. We resent that when we get around and we're like, however long months or years into it, are like, fuck, I don't really like all this stuff. You know, like this is whatever. This script sucks.
Right.
But that's part of what we deal with. Right. Like there's inherent dishonesty in meeting people.
Right.
Now, can we? Realistically, practically, get to a base level of integrity and honesty? I kind of doubt it. We're just not who we are.
Right.
That's not who we are. Most of us have to fake it so we make it whatever we're doing. Confidence begins in the mind before it begins in the talent, and that's just how we operate. And we're kind of being idealistic without realization if we persist in that. And I don't know. I'm not a big relationships guy because I think there's a lot of dysfunction in it. But if you want to go down that road, you want to invest the time. It's going to be complicated. It's going to be painful. It's going to be difficult. Right. Hopefully, there's enough reward for you to make it all make sense.
You were married, right?
Yeah.
How long?
Too long.
So never happened again.
So when you say teaching our young,
So wait, we got 3 married men up here and 3 who are not. One who's never.
Yeah. Shout out to y'all, man.
So when you say teaching our young men something, so what we tend to do, even though he don't want to get married or anything,
I can see myself with a woman though. But if she want to get married, that's why I just chill, man. They be wanting you to put that paper.
But one of the primary thing that we do teach our boys is RAS. It's RAS. You know what I mean? So it's being responsible, accountable, and sustainable. That's what we do. Shouts out to Mr. Dunn. That's what we do with our boys. Like, be respectful. You know what I'm saying? We be talking about how, women don't feel like they're respected by men and everything. Okay, well, it starts in here. When you go home and your mom starts yelling at you and you done did something wrong, make sure you hold yourself accountable for it. You know what I mean? So that's the things that we're teaching these young men, that we're trying to teach and bestow upon them. Does it stick? Sometimes it does. With some of them, I hear it from different people. Oh, this young man has changed the way that he, presents himself. His behavior is this.
You still got. I think I agree, but I think you still also have to plant the seed. I think we're doing ourselves a disservice if we don't plant the seed. Yes, ma'am.
I'm curious.
I'm not anti-marriage. I don't. This is just where I am right now. I don't know if it will change or not. I'm not set in stone. I'm never getting married ever in my life. But as of right now, what I got going on, I just don't have a desire to do it. I don't even have a desire to be in a relationship.
Okay. Because I thought technically you said you would be in a relationship, but you don't have.
Yeah, but I have. It's like there's some things that in my life that I plan on doing and that I want to do, and those things are more important than being with a woman and getting married.
He's on his purpose. Yes, sir.
Oh, no, I was gonna say, you mentioned like as far as marriage, putting it in paper and all that, that's a massive step, and it's distinct from love, because when you legally marry, you invite the state of Florida or the state of wherever you're at, everybody, into your relationship, and everything after that threat or that weight is over it, and that mutates things.
Yeah, you basically give them the authority.
That has nothing to do with
in your relationship.
Marriage got nothing to do with love.
Yeah, I've been on child support, so somebody invited the state and to telling me what to do. You know what I'm saying? And I completed all my child support obligations 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still a dad, and if my daughter needs anything, you know what I'm saying, I'm doing it. But that situation, I didn't agree with that because I felt like we could have came to an agreement with each other like adults. But she decided she's going to get the government my social security number and tell them to come get it. So, for whatever. I realized she was in survival mode, so I ain't mad about it. But,
yeah, we
Fuck that.
She a mama bear, and she wanted to make sure that if I ever decided that I wasn't going to help, that the government was going to ruin my life.
Right.
And in her mind, that made sense. So, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. I ain't mad about it.
Hey, you get that a lot now. You're like, I can't travel, bro. Why you can't travel? I'm going back child support. Well, why don't you pay it? Because I just see you spend my dogs in the club.
Yeah,
make that shit make sense.
Yeah, I'm done. I fulfilled all mine. But, yeah, I don't, and, when you really focus on something, and I'm the type, if I'm in a relationship, I'm gonna really focus on my woman and building something and giving her attention that she needs, because women need attention, they need affection and these things so they can flourish in who they are innately. And right now, I don't have that.
You're
I
on
don't
your purpose,
got
bro.
that to give you, and I'm gonna feel bad about it because I'm gonna be more focused on this than that. And if you can't understand that, then I don't have no understanding.
I get that.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
so
I know.
I'm just going ahead and just play it this way, and I'm gonna just see it.
You said I'll show you.
And I'm gonna just see it through. You feel me? And I'm gonna just see it on through, and maybe on the other end of these things that
Once you
I'm here to
accomplish
do.
what you feel
Yeah.
is your purpose, then you may be more inviting to that situation. Right now, you're not inviting to it because you're on what's going to make you feel great about you and building you up inside. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
it's
saying?
things it's bigger than me. You know,
Yeah,
things that
yeah.
I'm doing is just way bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? And
Explain yourself.
yeah, I've done that. I've tried to get in a relationship
But
and
some-
try to balance
some
it with
people
this
don't
end,
understand that.
with that, and not that they even understand it. It's just like I'm attentive to and conscious of a woman's needs, and I'm knowing if you're gonna have to pretend like you okay with this, but I'm peeping game at you,
Or not.
you know what I'm saying? I'm over here, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and you're trying to make it work, but really you know what?
You in your office working and she keeps there bringing you you want something?
Yeah, you wondering if are we okay
Can I
because
get-
I'm
can I
over
get-
here,
can I
I'm
get
in
you
the
a glass
other
of
room
water?
doing this, and man,
Are you
know what?
hungry?
Yeah, you a woman, I get it. Let me go ahead.
I've experienced some of that with men that want babies. Yeah, that's been like a deal breaker for me.
You don't want no more babies?
No, and some of the men that I mean, it's not ideal. Like I'm in my last year of my master's program, and I haven't even started my career. I have my job lined up for my internship. Like pregnancy right now, it's just, and there's men that are like, you know, they finally they did all the work, and now they're 42, and they're like, oh, okay, baby fever, I'm ready, and okay, you look presentable, yeah, you.
So it's a statistic that they
Yeah,
have.
and
that
I'm just like,
30
I'm not
between
there.
35 and 43 is the range of men reaching their purpose or finding their purpose, and now they're looking forward to
Yes, and I
these
have
things
to be like a baby right now, and I have 1 year left to graduate. That's not a good idea for me. It's just not. So I get what you're saying, Jason. Like, you just not in the headspace for a relationship. I'm not having to take people right now.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Because I ain't gonna be able to give you the attention that you need.
Exactly.
I'm not even, and I ain't gonna be worried about it neither. That's what's gonna hurt you. Because I ain't even gonna be thinking about that. So let me just do us both a favor, and let me just lock in on what I got going on, and I'll see y'all on the other side.
I get it.
Oh yeah, I'm
Okay. We've run over a little bit. I mean, I got a lot more, but we can. I think this is probably a good place to end it. What I would like to invite our audience to do is to give us a few moments. We got to do a change. I want you to stay tuned. We have coming up the author spotlight, but we have some authors who are going to come in and talk about their wonderful work. I have had the honor and privilege of working with 10 women and authoring a book that's titled Girl Good Up and Move, You Are More Than a Conqueror. Some of those authors are going to be here today. We're going to talk about they're going to talk about their project. They're going to talk about why they participated in the project, and they're going to read a little bit. Well, we may read a little bit because the book's not completed yet, but stay tuned. We'll be right back. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. This was yes, sir. Good, good. We appreciate you, man. Yes, sir. Oh, no, absolutely. No, man. I've been wanting to get you out and be involved in